Hey, Husky fans, Joe Summons here from NIU Athletics. Welcome to a very special presentation tonight in the Virtual Victory Bash. Tonight, we have in its entirety the 2003 Maryland football game with commentary from NIU head football coach and Husky Hall of Famer Joe Novak. Coach Novak, how you doing tonight?
We're doing great, Joe. It's really glad to be with you. This is going to be a fun thing to do.
Just first off, what was it like to coach in that game at Husky Stadium? I mean, sellout crowd. I mean, a lot of energy. What was that? What was that game like for you?
Joe, it was unbelievable. It probably was as good an atmosphere as I was ever around in my coaching career. It wasn't the biggest stadium I ever coached in, but as we all know, it was sold out. And that was our 8th year too. So we'd had a long time getting to this point, and to go out there and pregame and see that crowd and the electricity in there and national television, a ranked opponent. I mean, it was in the Thundersticks too. We got to remember the Thundersticks are a big part of it. It was not an easy place for an opponent to come into and play, but it was just a really, really electric atmosphere that night.
How did that game end up being played at Husky Stadium on a Thursday night? I know there's a story behind it.
Yeah, it's a fun story. When I first came there, Kerry Groth, who was the athletic director, a couple of years before I got there, had signed a 3-year deal with Maryland. And at that time, Maryland, this was in the mid to early 90s, Maryland wasn't a particularly strong program. So we got a 2-for-1 deal, which means we went there twice to play and they would come to our place once, which was pretty prominent with MAC schools in down the road Power 5 programs. So we had to open. My first game coaching in Northern in '96 was at Maryland. And as a matter of fact, we weren't a very good football team, but we were ahead 6-3 at halftime down there. It ended up getting beat 30-6. But this was the second game of the series. And the interesting part of it was Kerry came to me in February, and she said, "Joe, we've got a problem." I said, "What's that?" She said, "Maryland doesn't want to come to DeKalb to play." I said, "You're kidding me." So we got a contract. She said, "I know, but they have just come off a 21-4 run the previous 2 years. Coach Friedgen was coach of the year nationally. They were really good. And they did not want to come to DeKalb. And I think partly because the year before we had beaten Wake Forest. And I think the two coaches got together, but they tried to get out of coming. And I'll give Kerry a lot of credit, boy. She was really, really strong. And she asked me to call Coach Friedgen. And I didn't know Ralph at all, not from Adam. And so I got on the phone with him and I said, "Ralph," I said, "there's 2 things to consider here. If we play in DeKalb, I think Fox will do it nationally. We'll be on TV on Thursday night, which would be great exposure for both our programs. And I said, the other thing you need to think about is you've got Florida State the week after us. And if we play on Thursday, that'll give you 2 extra days to prepare for Florida State." And I think maybe that rung a bell with them. I really did. And so they agreed to play. They came up, but they were trying to get out of it to start with.
Can you talk a little about, did you guys talk a little bit after the game? Like not immediately after the game, but did Ralph ever bump into you, like say the coaches convention, or go,
No.
"Oh, you really pulled one over on me, Joe," or or did you guys ever talk about it afterwards?
No. Ralph is not a real communicative guy. After the game, I had to find him. He was down chasing the officials, and I couldn't find him to shake his hand, and I was darn sure going to shake his hand. And I stood there, and I was waiting. I couldn't find him. I was about to give up. Finally, I saw him, and we walked over, and he didn't say a word. But what was funny, we played him the next year down at Maryland, Joe. Mm-hmm. And we had a heck of a game with him. We got beat 20-7 or 23-20, I think it was. It was a heck of it. We were thrown in the end zone at the end to win it. And he came up to me after the game. We shook hands, and he finally talked. He said, "Joe, I don't ever want to play you guys again," and walked away.
Kind of fan with a keen eye, may spot some familiar faces on the sidelines of both teams. There are 4 future head football coaches on both staffs. Can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, actually 5, Joe.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even realize James Franklin was on that staff, who's now the head coach at Penn State. And what's interesting there, when I retired, James was one of the guys that came in and interviewed for our job. And he was impressive. He may have been the most impressive interview we had. Jim Phillips really wanted to hire a head coach, and James wasn't a head coach at that time, but he was really good. And Bill O'Brien, who's the head coach of the Houston Texans, was on their staff. And of course, we have Sam Pittman, who's now the head coach at Arkansas, Matt Canada, who was the interim head coach at Maryland, and then Scott Schaefer, who was the head coach at Syracuse. So, you know, we had some interesting, those were two really good football teams, and really, maybe excluding the head coaches, two really good coaching staffs.
And then let's talk about some of the players on our team itself that were playing in the game. They've gotten their coaching careers going. We got, I thought you and I were talking like 3 of them at least. I mean, we got one of them on our staff right now.
Yeah, of course, PJ. Thomas had played the year before. He was done playing, but he had played the year before. Travis Moore, who's on Thomas's staff, of course, played in that game. Vincent Reynolds might have been gone the year before, but Vince is at Syracuse now. So there's some guys that have gone on into coaching and are all doing pretty well. Really proud of them.
All right, Coach. Well, what do you say we stop all this pregame talk and we get into the game, huh?
Let's go. The best thing is we know the outcome.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
We are getting close to kickoff. Maryland has won the toss, and they have decided to defer to Northern Illinois, so the Huskies will receive the season's opening kickoff. Nick Novak will put the ball in the air in just a couple of moments for the Maryland Terrapins, and we expect Randy Drew to be deep for NIU. Tom, you and I were here on opening day a year ago when another ACC school came in. It was Wake Forest, and 6 plays into the game, Lionel Hickenbottom, one of Northern's best secondary players, went down with a torn knee ligament. He is back here tonight for his final season, and Joe Novak said he's what really is the glue in their secondary.
Yeah, Coach Novak has said this is a kid that can play on Sundays. He can play in the National Football League. He's been injured quite often. He's actually only played 9 games in their last 23 games. The knee injury is something that they'll keep an eye on. He's their spiritual leader, and as I said, certainly their best defensive back.
There's a look at last year's National Coach of the Year, Ralph Friedgen, a wonderful football coach, 3rd year as the Maryland head coach. He played at Maryland, he was a coordinator at Maryland, and he's one of the bright minds in college football, taking his Terps to a 21-5 record over 2 years.
And the interesting thing is, folks around the Terrapin program were believing that year 3 was going to be the year that they were going to turn it around. In fact, Ralph Friedgen, 21-5 in his first 2 years. They got a BCS Bowl in his first year. They went last year, and they demolished Tennessee in the Peach Bowl. This is an outstanding program that I think has turned some heads.
There's a look at the weather here at Brigham Field at Huskie Stadium. 88 degrees, a lot of humidity, and a chance of some storms moving in later in the ball game. Novak will set it up on the tee, put it in the air, and it is Drew and Hickenbottom deep for Northern Illinois. The college football season is underway. Novak, a high driving kick, and it is going to take Drew deep in the end zone where he will touch a knee down, and Northern Illinois will go on the attack. 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line, led by their quarterback, Josh Huskie.
Here's a kid that not a lot was known about him last season. He came in replacing a 3-year starter, Chris Finland. Started a little slow, but certainly became one of the more efficient passers in all of college football last year. Makes good decisions. 15 touchdowns, just 6 interceptions. A tremendous surprise for Coach Joe Novak last season.
Interesting to watch. Everyone probably knows the name Michael Turner, but today featured on the USA Today, as Gail Fisher told you, they handed a copy of that to every player on the Maryland club today, the coaches did, to get them ready for Michael Turner. Handoff to Turner on the first play of the game, and hurt Turner across the 25, a gain of 5. And it will be a 2nd and 5 for the Northern Huskies, and that's what Northern wanted. Tom, a quick start. Let's take a look at the offensive starters for Northern Illinois. Josh Huskie, he is your quarterback, a junior. You see his numbers from a year ago. Very good TD interception ratio. Free, Rogers, Galani, Ebenhock, and Verstrady, your offensive line. And there's your receivers, skill positions. Turner, watch PJ Fleck, number 82. 2nd and 5 for the Huskies, and they're going to throw. Huskie rolls, drills, and fires. And PJ Fleck makes the catch across the 30, and that is a 1st down for Northern Illinois. Let's take a look at the Maryland defense, and it is a good one. Smith, Starks, Feldheim, and Cochran. Starks, one of the top tackles in all of college football. Linebackers, a very active group. Dequel Jackson, the man in the middle, replacing departed All-American E.J. Henderson. 1st and 10 for the Huskies at the 33, and they hand it to Michael Turner, and he tries to turn the corner, and he does turn the corner, and then he's knocked down at the 37, 38-yard line as we take a look at the Maryland defensive backs, a very, very strong group. Foxworth Wilson, Jerome Cox, and Madu Williams. We'll tell you about his summer internship a little later. Very interesting story.
And the talent and the depth of this crew is going to allow that Maryland defense to come up, play 8 men in the box, try to take Michael Turner away from the Northern Illinois offense and go man-to-man on the outside with the Husky receivers.
4 receivers set for Northern with Turner the single back, and Haldy is going to throw, looks for Fleck, and he is lit up.
Andrew Smith, a nickelback coming in. You had a 4 wide receiver set. That's that little wide receiver screen. Read very well. You see Andrew Smith, a nice break on the ball. P.J. Fleck fortunate to come down with it. As we said, this is a very talented Maryland secondary.
That's a loss of 3 on that play. So it'll bring up a 3rd and 7 for the Huskies. Maryland certainly, Tom, has a big advantage in terms of size on their D-line versus Northern Illinois' O-line.
No question, especially on the left side of that Northern offensive line. They are young and they are small. I would expect that Northern and Michael Turner will try to go over the right side of that line most of the evening.
Haldy drops back, looks, throws, finds Fleck. He tries to get to the first down marker, and he'll be knocked out about 1.5 yards short. So the Huskies will probably have to punt this football away. How much gambling do you do when you're Northern Illinois and you think, wow, 1 yard away from a first down? We've got Michael Turner, but it's 4th down and it's early in the football game. What do you do?
I think you've got to play the field position game right now. You kick the ball, you try to pin Maryland back inside their 10 or 15-yard line, and you take a shot with your defense, a defense that was very good last year.
Anthony Gallagher, the punter. JoJo Walker, the man deep for Maryland. And the kick is away. No fair catch. Walker makes the catch in traffic and is able to advance it to about the 43. Boy, dangerous catch there. The Northern defenders were right there, and JoJo Walker, credit him with an outstanding catch in traffic.
It was a solid move because instead of having the ball inside their own 15 or 20-yard line, they get it with great field position at their own 42. This is not what Coach Joe Novak wanted to see from his new punter.
Scott McBrien, the quarterback, will watch to see if his injured groin will limit his mobility at all. He's very versatile. He can run, he can throw, and Josh Allen is the man in the backfield with outstanding speed in place of the injured Bruce Perry. McBrien's going to throw on first down, fires, and it is complete to Jafar Williams. He makes the catch and is tackled right around midfield. A solid throw. We take a look at the Maryland offense. There is Scott McBrien. You look at his numbers from a year ago. A year ago, he was in a battle for the starting quarterback job. Now he is the man. Stephon Heyer, Brooks make up a very good offensive line for Maryland. 2nd down and 3. McBrien barking out signals. He's going to hand off to Josh Allen. He tries the middle, and he will pick up a first down for the Terrapins right around the 46-yard line. There's the backs and receivers: Allen, Fiddler, Jafar Williams, Latrez Harrison, and Jeff Dugan. Very talented group of skill position players. And the 2 wide receivers, Williams and Harrison, have a distinct height advantage over the Husky defenders. Both receivers go over 6'2" and 215 pounds. 1st and 10 for the Maryland Terrapins. McBrien under center. Single back is Josh Allen. McBrien hands to Josh Allen, and he is nailed in the backfield. Excellent job by Rob Lee. A big corner. He's on the other side. You've got Randy Drew, who's 5'8" and 180 pounds, giving up about 6 inches to most of the Maryland receivers. Rob Lee, a little bigger, 6'1" and 190, does an excellent job of run support. Take a look at the Northern Illinois defense. Reynolds, Wilson, Cooksey, and Travis Moore. Not a big group, but a very quick and athletic group. 2nd down and 9 for Maryland. McBrien spots something and changes the play at the line of scrimmage. And he's going to drop back. Northern with pressure. They hit McBrien, and he completes it anyway. And Jafar Williams makes the catch. Credit McBrien with standing in there in the face of the rush, Tom.
Well, this is an attack 4-3. That's what they call this defense. You see the linebackers there. Obviously, Nick Duffy is one of the top linebackers in all of the MAC, if not all of college football. The secondary, the guy to watch, Randy Drew. He's a speedster. 7 interceptions last year. Lionel Hickenbottom comes back. That's a solid group in the secondary for Northern
and
as well.
And they call them the Mad Dogs.
The Mad Dogs. That's exactly right.
It's a 1st down for Maryland. They're in Northern Territory at the 34. McBrien barking out signals. He's going to fake and going to drop back, and he's going for the whole thing. It's dropped in the end zone.
We have a flag down. Looks like Nick Duffy may have hit Scott McBrien a little late.
Latrez Harrison had that ball in his hands and dropped it. And you are correct. We will have a roughing the passer penalty.
I talked about it a minute earlier. They call this an attack 4-3. They come after the quarterback with a lot of blitzes. They leave their corners one-on-one back there, and they expose themselves to a lot of big plays. Latrez Harris has to come up with that football and make the penalty inconsequential.
Well,
let the guys play. A little question
that's
there.
A tough call. Tough call.
Well, Nick Duffy's the type of kid that won't let that take away his aggressiveness.
But the quarterbacks, of course, during the summer camp usually get to wear that yellow or different colored shirt so nobody touches. You wanted one of those when you played.
That's
Coach,
exactly
I have
right.
one. I don't want to get hit.
You got that right.
Maryland's got a 1st down at the Northern Illinois 16-yard line after the roughing the passer call on Nick Duffy, the middle linebacker. The handoff to Josh Allen, tries the middle, bangs his way inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. And that will bring up a 2nd down and let's call it 3.
Josh Allen, a guy with a good combination of size and speed, 5'11", 206. Runs the 40 and a true 4.4 flat. As you said earlier, he fills in for Bruce Perry, who was scheduled to come back after missing all of last year with an injury. He's a quality fill-in.
We're going to call it 2nd and 4. Spot it right at the 10-yard line. Man goes in motion, McBrien. Handoff again, Josh Allen up the middle. Josh Allen's got a 1st down. It's 1st and goal, Maryland Terrapins at the 3-yard line.
There's no question that Maryland has a distinct size advantage on the offensive line. They go 297, 318, 300, 309, and 301 across the front. As for Northern, they average about 255, 260. You pound on them early, you wear them out towards the end. You know that Maryland wants to play that power game.
Well, number 74, C.J. Brooks, has started every game since he's been at Maryland. 25 football games. He's 318. I would imagine he'd be one of the big uglies in here that they'll try and run behind. And the handoff inside, short of the goal line. They'll call it a 2nd and goal, and that's right at the entrance to the end zone. You don't get much closer, Tom.
Well, just, again, good lead blocking. Bernie Fiddler out there, his fullback leading the way. So many options when you've got a quarterback like Scott McBrien who can throw it and also very good with the option. Northern has a hard time deciding what they want to take away from this Maryland offense.
Maryland 2nd and goal at the 1. Everybody bunched in. Handoff again. This time it is a touchdown for the Maryland Terrapins. Josh Allen rumbles in from inside the 1, and the Terrapins strike first. With 8:43 left first quarter, Maryland has drawn first blood.
Once again, just a mismatch at the line of scrimmage. Bernie Fiedler clears a path for Josh Allen. It's a momentum changer for this Maryland club, something that Northern wanted to try to stop early on.
Nick Novak, extra point on the way. It is good. So the Maryland Terrapins, the 15th ranked team in the country, have a 7-0 lead, 8:43 left first quarter in DeKalb, Illinois.
after Maryland marched down the field in their opening possession, scored a touchdown, the defense bowed its neck. I mean, you got guys like Randy Drew, Brian Atkinson, Nick Duffy. Can you talk about the aggressive attacking defense and basically how they played the rest of the game?
Yeah, well, Scott Schaefer was our coordinator, and Scott was a quarterback in college. So his idea of defense was to be switching things up and calling plays and being aggressive, and he was. I mean, he did a great job for us. We were a blitzing outfit. We were aggressive in what we did. We had some really good players, Joe. Our secondary was outstanding. Our linebackers were really, really good. Up front defensively, we weren't the biggest. And Kenny West and Travis Moore and those guys, they could really move around, and those two made some plays chasing things down. So we were really, really a good defensive football team, and we needed to be that night.
Great people at Fox Sports Net have given us a lot to work with tonight.
They've obviously overestimated us.
The kick will come down to Randy Drew at the goal line. Drew will try and advance it to the 20, and they'll stop him just short, right around the 18-19 yard line, where the Huskies will go on the attack for the second time this evening. If you look at Ralph Friedgen, last year's National Coach of the Year, he talks to his quarterback, Scott McBrien, who engineered an 8-play, 58-yard drive. Allen capping it off with a 1-yard rumble to the end zone.
Well, they preach efficiency, and I would say that was a very efficient scoring drive. Right now, if you're the Northern Illinois Huskies, you stay with your game plan. You don't panic. You make sure you give the ball to Michael Turner, and you throw the short passes and try to move the ball down the field.
Take care of the football. Josh Haldy will hand it off to Michael Turner. Turner is nailed just across the 20 by the interior of that Maryland defensive line, and that was the one thing that you remarked, Tom. Maryland is much bigger inside than that Husky offensive line.
Well, the Huskies have some questions up front. They've lost 3 starters last year. There really is no depth out there. As I said earlier, they are young and they are small on the left-hand side. I'd be surprised to see a lot of 2 tight end offense out of the Huskies tonight, trying to protect their young left tackle, Doug Ford.
TJ Fleck is your slot receiver. Dan Sheldon, one of your wideouts, had a phenomenal year last season. There's the pitch to Michael Turner, turns the corner, and he's knocked out at the 21. Very well defensed again by Maryland. Number 57, Randy Starks, is a guy who's able to string things out. He's 318 pounds, and you'll see the Maryland pursuit is outstanding.
Yeah, the Maryland, they're just too athletic. I don't think Josh Haldy wants to spend a lot of time running the option tonight. If you want to get that ball in Turner's hands, they did there, but they're big, they're fast, they're strong. There's a reason why this team has kept opponents to less than 20 points per game for 2 consecutive years.
From the shotgun, Haldy, he's pressured. Haldy is going down at the 10-yard line. Maryland runs roughshod over the NIU offensive line. They get the sack, and they force Northern Illinois to punt. With 7 minutes left, first quarter, out of the shotgun, Haldy really never had a chance, Tom.
This is just a flat-out jailbreak. You see Jamal Chance comes in from the corner position. They are going to pressure both Michael Turner in the running game and Haldy in the passing game because they have so much confidence in their lockdown corners.
JoJo Walker deep. Anthony Gallagher, the punter, was knocked down. There is no flag on the play. Good coverage by the Huskies. And Maryland will take over in Northern Illinois territory right around the 47-yard line when we come back. It's 7-0 Terps. The broadcast rights for this event have been granted to Fox Sports Net by Northern Illinois University. Any reproduction or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Fox Sports Net and NIU is strictly prohibited. We'll send Tom Waddle over to your house. Terps go on the attack.
A rather imposing figure.
Yes, you are, at 160 pounds, dripping wet. 85. 7-0 Terps. McBrien, the handoff, and Josh Allen rumbles to the 40. Right now, Tom, it looks like Maryland is really getting some good blocking up front. Allen is just hitting the hole.
Well, that was the story. You're going to use your size and your strength against a much lighter Northern defensive line. Northern really does not want to put themselves in poor field position situations like they have it to end their first 2 offensive drives.
It's
really opens it up for Maryland to do exactly what they want to do, and that's pound the football and mix in a few play-action passes.
2nd down and 3 at the NIU 40. McBrien fakes, he looks, he's going down. Scott McBrien is sacked.
Travis Moore with a good edge rush. You'll see a lot of this. They were the #1 team in the MAC last year, sacking opposing quarterbacks. 47 takedowns last year. He just gets to the edge. He beats Jeff Dugan, a 4-year starter at tight end. It takes down the less than mobile Scott McBrien. As we talked off the top of the broadcast, McBrien nursing a groin injury in this ballgame.
And interesting, Dugan at the tight end outweighs the defensive lineman that just got to the quarterback. You don't see that too often. It's a 3rd and 8 now for Maryland. McBrien gonna throw, looking, pressured again, rolls, shows good mobility. He's going for the home run ball, and it's dropped in the end zone. He had his man, Jafar Williams was there and could not bring it down.
Twice Maryland receivers have found themselves open in the end zone. Both times they come up empty. Scott McBrien does a nice job getting away. Hickenbottom jumps in front of that ball. I'm not sure whether or not he got a hand on it. Jafar Williams, a big height advantage. Got to come down with that football. 6'2", 210, and a monster vertical leap.
Adam Podleck is going to make his first collegiate punting try. Redshirt freshman, number 36, and he puts it in the air, and it looks like it's headed to the end zone, and it is. It will be a touchback, and the Huskies stiffen their defense, and they will go on the attack at the 20.
There's an inexperienced punter for you right there. Instead of kicking towards the angle out of bounds, he kicks it straight through the end zone.
Or his special teams coach will have a word with him.
Well, they lost a dandy of a punter last year in Brooks Bernard, a kid who spent some time in the Bears training camp. Unfortunately, he did not make the squad. They have a tremendous punter, Brad Maynard,
And
here in Chicago.
First team all ACC.
Absolutely. So Adam Podlish has got his feet to the fire tonight.
We'll see if Michael Turner can get untracked, and then Haldy tries to open things up through the air. 1st and 10, Huskies at the 20. They hand it to Turner. Turner crashes into the Maryland line and bangs it out to around the 23-yard line. You know,
didn't take long for Northern to put that second tight end in there to give Doug Free, a young man, 6'6", but only 276, a redshirt freshman, starting at left tackle. Got a little help from the tight end there. Michael Turner's had some success running the football tonight against this stout Maryland front four.
I'll tell you an interesting story on the Maryland D-backs in just a moment. They're a very underrated crew. It's a 2nd down and 7 for the Huskies. Dan Sheldon is the motion man. Haldy is going to roll. He's going to look, he's got time, and he's going for the home run ball. And he overthrows P.J. Fleck, number 82.
He looked like he was open for a while, but Fleck actually fairly well covered back there. Safety Madu Williams, who's one of the top safeties in all of college football. That ball was actually thrown in a catchable spot for Fleck. Might have been Williams who would have come down with it.
You talked early in the game, Tom, about Maryland doing a little talking, trying to intimidate the Northern players with their D-back philosophy. Play big, play with emotion, and celebrate with your friends. Ralph Friedman said, tone it down a little. I don't want penalties for excessive
They
celebration.
had a lot of celebrations last year, 18 interceptions from that crew, all 4 of them returned.
From the shotgun, Haldy, and he hands it off to Michael Turner. He tries to turn the corner. He does, and Michael Turner rumbles to the 36-yard line. That is a 1st down for the Northern Illinois Huskies.
And you're going to see this play is possible because of the block of Josh Haldy. Michael Turner with great vision. You see Haldy get out in front of the play. He gets a hat on Raymond Custis, the safety, and makes that 1st down possible.
Gotta love a quarterback that'll stick his nose in there.
Just want to make sure he doesn't get injured because there's not a whole lot of depth behind him.
Both teams don't have a lot of depth at quarterback.
No question.
So a 1st down for the Huskies. And Haldy's going to roll. He's going to drop it off. Cieslak rumbling and knocked out at the 45. Brad Cieslak. Haldy rolled out, flips it over the on-rushing defender, and that is another first down for the Northern Huskies.
Just a perfectly designed play. Maryland coming after them hard. Cieslak releases, just a little naked route. Gets the ball to the tight end. It's a block from Keith Perry. Northern is on the move.
Michael Turner, 6 carries so far in the game, and he's got 30 yards, so pretty good, 5 yards per carry. Haldy gonna throw again, and Haldy's going down in a heap. Randy Starks, the man we told you about. Tom, he's one of the best defensive linemen in all of college football.
I have to be honest with you, I was nervous standing next to him on the field prior to the game.
You know, I was gonna say that.
He
We
is
were standing
enormous.
up there, and I went, my God, I'm glad I don't play football against you.
Strongest player on the Maryland roster, 6.5 sacks last year. Just a great combination of size and speed and strength, and wow, that's what you call explosive.
And I believe he squatted over 700 pounds.
And I believe Josh Haldy's had enough of him, and he's coming off to the sidelines to talk about it.
We're going to take a break. We're going to come back. Randy Starks is just phenomenal. 7-0 Maryland. Welcome back. 3:07 left first quarter. The Maryland Terrapins with a 7-0 lead on the Northern Illinois Huskies. It is a 2nd and 16 situation for Northern after that big sack from Randy Starks. Turner, the single back, Fleck in motion. Haldy, rolling, throws back across to Keith Perry. Perry across the 40. Perry hurdles out of bounds and a flag on the play as he is very near a Northern first down. We'll see what the penalty is.
I only hope that my microphone was on during the break, because as I said to you, the one way to slow down an attacking defense is run screens and run draws. And Keith Perry, who plays the Q position, kind of a hybrid between fullback and tight end, good enough to exploit the linebackers in the passing game and big enough to help out in the running game. This looks like this one's coming back, but a very well executed play.
Going to run. We have an illegal block in the back by the offense. 10 yards from the end of the run. Repeat second down.
So they will take away that big gain for the Huskies with an illegal block in the back. They ever get you for that there, Mr. Wide Receiver?
I cheated as much as possible. At 6 foot and 185 pounds, running a 4.7 40, I was behind the 8 ball athletically.
See, in college they don't give the number.
But
In
it's
the pros,
not cheating if you don't get caught for it. He was cheating because he got caught. I wasn't cheating because I never got caught.
They never caught you. 2nd and 11 for the Huskies. Haldy under center. Haldy rolling. He's going to keep it. He's across the 40-yard line, and he is taken down. Good pursuit again by that Maryland defense.
You have to admire the patience of first-year offensive coordinator Matt Canada, not getting upset. They're going down early. This continues to run their game plan, mixing in the option. Michael Turner averaging 5 yards per carry, throwing the controlled passing game. Want to control the football. As we were talking to a few of the Northern coaches prior to the game, they said, hey, if we can stay in this ball game and be close in the fourth quarter, we think, much like last year, we got a chance to come up with an
You know,
upset.
Joe Novak's first game as a head coach ever was at Maryland, and they led 6-3 at the half, lost 30-6. Haldy is lit up as he throws. Absolutely annihilated. Tremendous pressure by Maryland. Wow. Haldy stood in there in the face of a tremendous rush. And I think it was Foxworth who got in there and just belted him.
TJ Fleck had a chance, was a bit open, but Josh Haldy had no time. And you're going to see a lot of that tonight from Maryland. They believe they can come after this young, inexperienced offensive line of Northern and take advantage of it.
And Gallagher puts a punt high in the air, and he's going to try and knock it out, and it will be caught. And Maryland will be tackled at the 13-yard line, and a flag comes flying in late.
I don't believe they gave JoJo Walker adequate space to catch this ball. Somebody needs to show JoJo how to wave his hand in the air for a fair catch. Maybe not. It's worked out for him so far.
Now, will they be calling him for a fair catch and then trying to run with it, or for Northern not giving space? And they're going to get Northern Illinois again.
That answers your question.
There you go. And against a team as good as Maryland, you cannot make mistakes
You cannot,
like this.
especially in the kicking game. You have to take care of the football, you have to limit your penalties, and you have to win the battle of field position.
Personal foul. From the end of the run, first down.
A 15-yard penalty from the end of the return. So a big break for Maryland rather than starting deep in their own end. You take a look at the replay.
They actually gave him adequate space to catch the ball.
I didn't see what
I'm not so sure what the violation was myself.
McBrien under center. It's a 1st and 10 from Maryland at the 27-yard line. Handoff to Allen. He tries to turn the corner, and he is belted by Randy Drew.
Well, Maryland's doing a nice job right now sealing the end of the line. Bernie Fiddler, first-year starter at fullback, is getting the best of the end of the line of scrimmage of this Husky team. Creating space for Josh Allen, who we said earlier just has tremendous speed. See Randy Drew.
We talked with Ralph Friesen the other night, and he said, I really like 18. He said, I think his name is Drew, but I really like him. I watch a lot of tape. This kid can play. We'll see if Maryland tries to test him at all with his great quicks. There's a dump pass from Maryland, and they are going to be very close to it. First down, football is loose. The football is loose, and the Huskies have recovered it. A well-disguised dump pass by Maryland, but a good hit from Northern Illinois. And let's see who they give it to. Northern says they have it, and the officials agree.
28 takeaways last year from this Husky defense. They're the attack 4-3. Just great pursuit right there. They run him down, and he drops the ball. Nick Duffy, just an outstanding football player. May have come up with it.
Josh Allen, as he leaves his feet, he gets blown up, and the ball goes flying, and the Huskies recover it, so they're in business just inside the Maryland 40.
Just an effort play from Vincent Reynolds running down Josh Allen.
Josh Haldy drops straight back, looks to throw, he's pressured, he's going to run, and he is belted at the 43. I can't tell you how impressed I am with that quickness that Maryland has on the interior of their defense.
Yeah, they're going to have to stack it in here, Northern, if they're going to drop back and throw the ball at all with any frequency, because they're going to get Josh Haldy killed. They're just too big, Maryland is, up front. Try to go hat on hat with them and just play a physical man-on-man game.
Be interesting to see if Michael Turner runs in here on a 2nd and 7.
Once again, you'll see two tight ends as well.
A little bit more about Michael Turner because, folks, this guy is legit. He's one of the best running backs in college football. And Turner does get the handoff, and he advances it across the 35 before he is knocked down as we tick down toward the end of our first quarter. Get these honors. Candidate for All-American, Heisman, Doak Walker Running Back Award, the Walter Camp Award, the Maxwell Trophy, last year's rushing total, and he was not the starter on opening night against Wake Forest. His season total, the 13th best single-season rushing total in NCAA history.
And at 6 foot tall and 228 pounds and a legit 4'4", this young man will play on Sunday.
Yes, he will. He is a big-time back. We will take a break. You see the shirts. They call him Turner the Burner. Can he burn Maryland and get this game even? We'll find out. 7-0 Terps.
Welcome back to Brigham Field at Husky Stadium. NIU is down 7 to Maryland, and the running game is working for the Huskies, even though they haven't put any points on the board. Michael the Burner Turner is doing his thing on the field. The very first possession, he had 2 carries for 11 yards. So far, he has 7 carries for 32 yards in this first quarter. Back to you guys upstairs.
Thank you, Gail. That's right. We'll watch Michael Turner all night. This guy is legit. He's got his own website, turnertheburner.com. They've done a wonderful job publicizing him here. And as we told you on the other side, several players on the Maryland ball club candidates for national honors.
Two good programs. You're going to see Steve Azer right here attempt a 52-yard field goal.
And he has made these. He's a candidate for the Lou Grozo Award for the top kicker in the country. The snap, the set down, the kick has the distance, and it is good. He drills a 52-yard field goal, and NIU is on the board.
You talk about how important it was to capitalize on that Maryland turnover that led to our first points of the game on on Azar's 52-yard field goal, the school record. Tell me what it was like to get that turnover and capitalize on it.
Well, it's very important. You know, Joe, went back a couple days ago and watched the game again too, and just remembered what a great defensive football game that was. Both teams were extremely good defensively, especially that night, and neither team moved the ball very well. So, of course, getting a fumble, we got the fumble right around midfield, and I think we only got a first down or so, and that was it. And we had to kick a field goal, and we were still so far out. It was a 52-yard field goal, which at the time was a school record for Steve Azar. And, of course, he had a great career and a Hall of Famer himself. But it was a great kick by him to get us on the board, and it was extremely important that we do that. But we had a heck of a time moving the football.
But if he doesn't return that Florida State team to glory, they may decide to go in a different direction eventually. Everyone's replaceable, as you see. Steve Azar with a Husky record 52-yard field goal.
When we were here a year ago, at the end of the first half, he kicked a 51 field goal.
As I said, a huge lift for this Northern squad right now.
Well, that got the crowd a little bit fired up. They're into it, waving their Anaheim Angels thunder sticks. JoJo Walker is the deep man for Maryland, as Azar will get ready to kick it away. High driving kick, it's headed to the end zone. JoJo Walker has it, thinks about it, says no, I will take it at the 20. Well, interesting ball game, Tom. Northern has proven that they can run the football.
Yep.
They've taken care of it, and then they capitalize on a turnover. But this is a very good Maryland team. They're legit ranked number 15.
Well, this is an outstanding squad that has a ton of returning starters from last year. Very big, very strong. I believe they were going to try to come out and muscle this Northern team. Northern has stood up to the pressure a little bit, but they've got to do a better job taking care of the football, giving up fewer big plays, and taking advantage of field position. It's something they did on that last drive, and they came up with 3 points. But earlier, too many mistakes in the kicking game.
And from Scott McBrien today, we had questions with the groin pull that was going to cause him a problem. He looked pretty versatile, able to roll out of the pocket, able to make his dump passes, step up and avoid pressure. I thought he did a very good job.
He has been evasive out there, but I think they still want to get the football in Josh Allen's hands. They'd like to get him 25 carries tonight, try to keep Scott McBrien from getting re-injured with that groin problem. But, you know, this is an offense based on efficiency, and so far you take away the turnover, and they have been fairly efficient.
And they do call a penalty on Northern Illinois, so Maryland elects to have them re-kick. This time, Steve Azar will put it on the tee at the 30-yard line.
Again, another mistake in the kicking game.
Cannot have these types of mistakes against a team as good as Maryland. You look at penalties, nothing for Maryland, 4 for 48 for Northern Illinois. This one is returnable. JoJo Walker at the 5. He is across the 15, he's out near the 20, and he is knocked down. Good coverage for the Huskies. Javen Lee, a 6'2" sophomore linebacker, was the first man to put a hat on it. Yards on that return, 14:44 left. David Kaplan and former Chicago Bears star Tom Waddle here in DeKalb, Illinois, college football on Fox Sports Net. 7-3, the Maryland Terrapins have the lead. Nice crowd here, capacity crowd of 30,000 or so here in DeKalb. McBrien looks, McBrien's going deep. McBrien throws, and it is incomplete. Wow, that is the third time, Tom, that he has had his man deep, Jafar Williams, and he has not been able to come up with the football.
Rob Lee with good coverage there. This one was a little bit underthrown. Scott McBrien not at fault in the first 2 deep passes that were dropped by Maryland receivers. This one a little bit underthrown. Could blame that possibly on the groin injury, but Rob Lee did a nice job coming back, possibly getting a hand on that ball.
McBrien throws a quick wide receiver screen, and that's going to be a first down for the Maryland Terrapins. A very well executed play. Latrez Harrison He's a 6'2", 223-pound senior, shifted 2 years ago to wide receiver, was a quarterback, and a big, strong, athletic kid.
Yeah, they've had two big, strong veterans on the outside. Good idea from the Maryland offense. Go after the defensive back that just had to run 40 yards getting back into position.
1st and 10 at the 38-yard line of the Terps. McBrien under center, single back. McBrien going to throw again, gets a little pressure, finds his man. Same combination, this time knocked out right at midfield. Latrez Harrison again makes the catch, 2 straight plays.
Maryland spreading out that Northern defense right now, taking away some of the blitzes that they like to do, and they're just matching up their wide receivers against these Northern cornerbacks, and so far advantage Maryland.
Harrison says, get me a quick breather.
Could use one too. It's about 90 degrees up here.
McBrien going to throw, 3rd straight play, and it's nearly intercepted. Wow, that one had touchdown written all over it for the Huskies. Brian Atkinson stepped out in the lane, put his hands up, and just couldn't corral.
Well, that's a bad decision by Scott McBrien. Just throws it where there's a Husky defender.
And it's nearly caught by JoJo Walker on the tip.
Brian Atkinson, his nickname is the Beast. Obviously the Beast
Doesn't have hands.
doesn't have hands.
He is going to get razzed by his teammates on that one. 14:24 to go.
Huskies.
2nd quarter. Huskies maybe showing a little bit of pressure. Looks like Nick Duffy is going to try and get to the quarterback. And a good throw by McBrien. Let's see if they call it. Yes, incomplete. Looked like it may have been dropped by Melendez. Dan Melendez, number 85, and they say he has the best hands on the team.
Well, Northern's taking some chances right now. They're coming after McBrien. They're locking up their corners on these Maryland receivers. Guess they figured the best way to get to Scott McBrien is through the blitz. He's not overly mobile right now because of the injury.
And the Husky faithful get to their feet, clap their thunder sticks. They want to see a stop. McBrien is going to come out of the shotgun. Maryland will throw you so many different looks because of the great offensive mind of Ralph Friedgen, Charlie Taft, the coordinator. McBrien's going to run with the football, and he will come up short of the 1st down, it appears, by a couple of yards. What do you do if you're Maryland?
I think you send your punting team out because I see them coming onto the field, and once again, you try to win the battle of field position. Great protection from that Maryland front 5. Good coverage from the Husky back 7. You see the athleticism from this Northern team, something that Coach Joe Novak has concentrated on, getting more talented players into the program. A much faster, bigger, stronger roster than in years past.
Podlesh to punt again. This is his 2nd punt of his college career. This one's going to come down inside the 10-yard line. Maryland falls on it at the 1. We'll see where they spot it.
That ball should come back to where the ball was touched.
I thought it was touched
initially.
around the 10.
But it's early. You know, even the officials probably have some rust to knock off.
Absolutely.
We have a sellout crowd here tonight at Husky
It's time for
Stadium.
some,
We need
speaking
to
of
ask
rust,
you to
Rustolian
make your way
trivia.
onto the aisle.
It is.
Absolutely it is. A little bit of trivia for you. 1990, NIU scored the most points ever against an AP top 25. Who was that team?
You asking me, or are we asking the folks at home watching?
Well, the folks at home who just came home after
I don't want to ruin their surprise.
a long day at work. They're relaxing, they have the air conditioning on, they had a good meal, and now they're watching some great college football on Fox Sports Net. See if they can come up with that answer. There's the
that's a
handoff
penalty
inside.
there.
There's some flags all over, yellow laundry all over the field here in DeKalb.
Yeah.
By 54, Scott Smith.
You see Scott Smith pointing to himself. My mistake. That's a 15-yarder. Michael Turner brought down by his face mask. You'll see it right here.
That's a big play for the Huskies. As we talked earlier, Maryland
Personal foul.
had not made mistakes. That's a big mistake because you had the Huskies pinned deep. Now you give them a 15-yard face masking penalty.
When the incidental face mask penalty is listed in the dictionary, that picture's not next to it.
That's exactly right.
Gives the Husky first down.
That will be a
And the
first
Huskies,
down.
they'll take first downs any way they can get them right now.
He starts nearly jumped. Keith Perry, man in motion. Hand off to Turner, and he is showing some escapability. Can he turn the corner? No, there is outstanding pursuit. I thought they were going to nail him in the backfield, and he showed some shiftiness. But number 32 was corralled by a horde of turtles.
Well, no offense to the folks that play in the MAC, but you will see a different level of athlete in the ACC. And I think there's example for Exhibit A right there. Michael Turner, an excellent athlete, but some equally fine athletic guys wearing the white jerseys tonight.
Absolutely right. Josh Haldy.
I believe he's going to get this play
Yeah,
off.
play clock down to 5, so he is
Good
going
decision.
to ask for a timeout,
Timeout.
rather than make a mistake.
Northern Illinois, that's their second.
That is their second timeout, so they are down to just 1 for the half. We'll come back, got a good one. We are back, 7-3 Maryland, the 15th ranked Terrapins at Northern Illinois in DeKalb, Illinois. David Kaplan and Tom Waddle with you. In 1990, Northern Illinois scored the most points ever for them against an AP Top 25. Who was that team?
Obviously, it was Fresno State.
73-18.
Thank you.
Here at Husky Field. Now Brigham Field at Husky Stadium. The handoff inside goes nowhere. Michael Turner. Let's take a look at the Maryland run defense because they are good.
Well, they just have tremendous speed. They run sideline to sideline. Great athletes. They're also big up front. They have such talent in the secondary. Their safeties come up and fill the run well. Their corners are good in run support. Defensive coordinator Gary Black, they just have so many options with this group. 9 returning starters from last year's crew that allowed less than 20 points per game. Actually, 16.3 points per game this Maryland defense allowed.
It is a 3rd and 15. Haldy looking, firing, and it is incomplete. Skips in to P.J. Fleck. So the Huskies will be forced to punt the football away.
This is not where they want to be. 3rd and long, 3rd and 14, 3rd and 15. Once again, mistakes, penalties, giving up big plays, putting them in a hole. Asking a whole lot of Josh Haldy and the Northern wide receivers against a very good secondary.
Anthony Gallagher is going to punt this one away.
Anthony Gallagher punting for NIU.
JoJo Walker is deep. Gallagher gets a high driving kickoff. JoJo Walker turns the corner. He's across the 30. JoJo Walker is nailed at the 39. The Husky fans wanted a penalty on a block in the back, but it looked to be a pretty good block, I thought.
Yeah, excellent special teams play by Maryland.
Let's take a
Walker
look again.
with great speed. Randy Drew comes down, swipes at him, can't get him. That's what we call a lookout block. Not quite as violent as I thought looking at the replay, but good solid special teams from Maryland. Field position, once again, Maryland is winning the battle.
Akil Grant got a good lick in there at the end. Maryland's got the football. They're in business at the 39-yard line. Their own 39 with a 7-3 lead, 11 and a half minutes left in the second quarter. Nick Bryan barking out signals. It's Fiddler in front of Josh Allen. In fact, Sammy Maldonado now in, and he gets the handoff, and Maldonado is nailed at the 43-yard line.
Well, Maldonado's not going to go down easy. 6 foot, 231 pounds, a transfer from Ohio State. He's the big back. They like to bring in kind of a change of pace guy. Fullback size, running back speed.
And it's Maurice Smith now in at fullback, replacing Bernie Fiddler. So whole new backfield, Smith and Sammy Maldonado. And a handoff again to Maldonado, and he is met in the hole by Nick Duffy. Still driving. And let's go down to the sidelines to our own Mitch Robinson.
Hey, Dave and Tom, the story with Sandy Maldonado, a sad one for him, actually. He transferred from Ohio State, had to sit out last year and watch his former team win the national championship. I'm sure he's happy to get playing time here at Maryland, and they say it's really a toss-up between him and Allen at the number 2 spot. Both are very, very good backs. Back to you guys.
And he is from the same hometown as one Ralph Friedgen, Harrison, New York. It's a 3rd and 3 for the Maryland Terrapins. Harrison, the man in motion. McBrien rolled, McBrien looked, McBrien hit, McBrien hit again. McBrien is going down. Short of the first down. And we'll see if Maryland elects to put the ball in the hands of their punter. And it looks like they will.
A little surprising that Maryland just didn't line up and try to play smash mouth football and get it with the run. Scott McBrien showing no signs of that groin injury, but here comes that attack 4-3 defense from the Huskies, relentless. Lionel Hickenbottom showing no signs of last year's knee injury. Comes up with a big stop.
Adam Hotlesh will punt it away again. Dan Sheldon, the game breaker, they like to call him in DeKalb, is the deep man. 11 catches, 30 yards or longer a year ago. Took several kicks back for touchdowns. And there's Sheldon, and he is belted at the 15. Great coverage, Maryland.
I admire the courage of these return men tonight, but
now he wears gloves. You can see as he comes off. Dan Sheldon has gloves on. You also returned punts for the Bears and were a wide receiver. Did you wear gloves?
I didn't wear gloves. The weather was quite cold in Chicago most of the time, so I couldn't feel with those leather gloves when they froze.
Take a look at the Northern Illinois quarterback, Josh Haldy. And there he is finding Dan Sheldon. Look at his numbers from last season.
And Dan Sheldon was an excellent find for them last year, a breakout season. 5 touchdowns, average almost 20 yards per catch.
Haldy under center with Turner, the single back, the handoff to Turner. Turner shakes one tackler. Turner tries to turn the corner, and great pursuit again by the Terrapins. Outstanding pursuit.
Yeah. Northern's just getting no push from their offensive line right now. They put Brad Cieslak on the left side trying to help out with the young, small, inexperienced left side of the Northern offensive line. They're just getting stood up at the point of attack.
Well,
as I said earlier, Michael Turner, as good an athlete as he is, can't run away from everybody.
Well, Jamal Cochran is the man who comes in and makes the tackle here. Do you know that he squats 765 pounds?
Reminds me a lot of myself.
God. There's Haldy looking, firing down the field, and he finds Fleck! Caught at the 45-yard line. Outstanding catch.
Well, that's a fortunate play for Northern because Brad Cieslak, the tight end, and B.J. Fleck running down the field about 2 yards apart. Haldy does an outstanding job evading the rush. B.J. Fleck missed most of last year with a hamstring injury, a very productive wide receiver. Makes the tough catch and gets a big first down.
And will give the Huskies some breathing room. There's Haldy, evades the sack, and then makes a great throw, and Fleck goes up and gets it.
Brad Cieslak was running interference for him there.
Haldy under center. He's going to throw again. Dumps it off to Michael Turner. Turner across the 40. Turner across the 30. The 20. Cuts back. Michael Turner is caught at the 6-yard line. Outstanding run by Turner.
We talked about it earlier. You have an attack defense like Maryland. They're big, they're fast, they're coming after this Northern offense. A well-designed screenplay takes the steam out of that front seven of Maryland. A great block right there from a wide receiver, Sam Hurd. He gets another one from P.J. Fleck. And only the athleticism of Madu Williams runs down Michael Turner.
Madu Williams, we were talking with some of the coaches and people from Maryland. They said he will play on Sunday.
Yes, he will. But a great play for the Huskies.
First and goal for the Huskies at the 6-yard line. Haldy rolling, will keep it, and absolutely lit up. Randy Starks and a pack of his friends right there in the middle of it. More I watch this guy after standing next to him. This guy is an NFL player.
Well, I think when you see him, if you're Josh Haldy and you're trying to run the option or a little quarterback draw, you want to run away from him.
I don't want him on the same field as me.
I don't. He's a big man.
He's on my team.
I tell you what, though, Josh Haldy showing tremendous poise and also a whole lot of toughness out here tonight. Taking care of the football, making good decisions.
Second down and goal for Northern. Haldy going to throw, hit, finds Fleck, and it's a touchdown!
Oh, what a great job dragging his foot.
Husky.
I'm not so sure he was.
Matt Canada's first game as our offensive coordinator. In Maryland, they weren't going to let Michael Turner beat him. Coaching staff, they gave every player a USA Today paper with Michael Turner on the cover, and I mean, they were shutting him down, but Matt found creative ways to get the ball downfield. I mean, there was that big pass to PJ, then there was the outlet pass to Turner, and then Black had that incredible catch in the end zone. Can you just talk about how Matt kind of grew as an offensive coordinator just in that game alone?
Yeah, he really did. That was his first game, like you said, and it was not an easy start. Like I said, they were a great defensive football team. I think they had 7 of those kids end up playing in the NFL, if I remember right. But you know, I was not a happy camper that morning, Joe, when the newspaper came out with Michael Turner on the front page of the sport page and the key article, and we're going into play a game, and I knew Maryland was going to use that for motivation. I know I sure would, and they did too. And I guess they gave every one of their players a copy of the paper in the morning. So they were coming in there, and they were going to gear up to stop him anyway. They were going to get 8 guys up front. They were going to try to control him, and they did for the most part. Until the end of the game, Michael ripped off some pretty good runs. But they did a pretty good job, and we had to try to find a way to move the ball. And it wasn't easy. We hit some screen passes. I think, Matt, we had a big screen to Turner there, and Keith Perry caught a big screen, and we had a throwback screen to Brad Cieslak, who was a great tight end. But we hit some of those with PJ, I think, caught 10 or 11 passes that day and had a great game, and Haldy throwing to him. But we had to adjust. We finally got Turner going midway through the fourth quarter in that last drive to get our field goal. He really cut loose a little bit. I think he had like 90 yards in the game, but he worked for every one of them. But Matt did a great job of making the adjustments and the calls, and of course he's gone on to have a great career.
By the way, Fleck, 50 yards, 5 catches, and a touchdown tonight. Maryland back in business now. And the handoff to Josh Allen, and he is lit up at the line of scrimmage.
I would say Maryland's getting a wake-up call right now. They played solid football in the MAC. This Northern program, a very good program under Joe Novak. Rob Lee with excellent support from his corner position.
Did you know that Maryland has only played one other game in the history of the program? As you look at Ralph Friedgen, one time have they come to the Land of Lincoln to Illinois, and they lost to the University of Chicago way back in the 20s. I believe it was 21-0.
You were a junior in high school then, weren't you?
Senior. 2nd and 10. McBride barking out signals to his offense. McBride's going to throw. Nick Duffy with pressure, and McBride fortunate to get rid of it. Nick Duffy all over him.
Maryland should know by now this Northern defense is going to take some chances. They're going to come up with some big plays, but if you are patient, and Ralph Friedgen is a patient man and a great offensive mind, he knows that that Northern defense will expose themselves to the big play. Right now, Northern's getting the best of it. They leave Maryland with a 3rd and 10, exactly where they want to be. That's the defense.
A 3rd and 10 situation. McBride's going to come out of the shotgun. An obvious passing down for the Terps. McBride dropping back. McBride going to fire across the middle, and that is caught!
Oh, my goodness.
A tip and a catch.
McBride gets it back.
McBride catches his own pass. And let's see if he's got the first down.
I don't believe he does.
I think he's short.
Check this out. He does a great job stepping up in the pocket, dumps it off to Josh Allen, who gets whacked and has the presence of mind to bring it in. A one-handed catch. Great athletic move, but I believe he's going to be short. And here comes the Maryland punt team.
Maryland's going to punt it away. I'll tell you what, both quarterbacks tonight, we saw the block from Haldy.
Yeah.
Mr. McBride with presence of mind to get back down the field and come up with that tip.
2 smart signal callers in tonight's ball game.
Podlesh will punt it away. Dan Sheldon is deep. The officials look like they're trying to restore some order inside.
Talk about trivia, that reminds me of a trivia question. Who was on the receiving end of Brett Favre's first pass? First completion?
I will say Sterling Sharp.
You are wrong, Brett Favre.
That's correct. I should have picked up when you were asking.
You're not real sharp tonight, are you?
I'm too focused. I'm too locked in on the ball game. The officials are talking. What are they discussing, Tom?
I'm thinking a post-game meal, possibly, because I don't know what they could be talking about. The ball was tipped by another Maryland player. I don't believe it's an illegal touch on behalf of Scott McBrien.
You're going to look at Ralph Pregame. He was the consensus National Coach of the Year 1 season ago. Now this is
Please
the previous
reset
play.
the game clock.
McBrien does a nice job stepping up.
Seconds.
Okay, what we're being told now is it is a clock problem, not a mistake on the field.
And McBrien, after firing the ball over the middle, did a wonderful job to come up with the loose football.
Following your pass.
That's exactly right, kind of like following your shot in basketball.
Exactly. Joe Novak has to be pleased with the way his Huskies have played, especially in the second quarter here. They could have folded after Maryland went up 7-zip quick, but they really have responded. Tells you a lot about this Northern Illinois football program that really, as I was saying earlier, has come a long way. Not only are they a more talented group, but they believe they are ready to take the next step.
Well, the number 41 holds tremendous significance for the Northern program. Toledo scored with 41 seconds left here at Huskie Stadium to beat Northern for the Mid-American Conference Championship. So they decided to use the number 41 as that punt sails deep. Dan Sheldon will watch it, and it's going to spin back like a 9-iron. Outstanding kick by Podlesh inside the 10.
And Dan Shelton did the right thing. You put your heels on the 10-yard line. Anything beyond the 10, you let it go.
Mike Ditka taught you that, didn't you?
Somebody did. Maybe earlier than that.
You didn't want Mike Ditka chewing you up. Anyway, the number 41, because Toledo scored with 41 seconds left, they decided to incorporate that into their program. They did workouts for 41 seconds, different drills. They ran 41 yards. The number 41 has been burned in their memories. They have a sign up about the number 41.
They'd like to score 41 points tonight.
I think they would. Josh Haldy under center. He's going to hand it off to Michael Turner. Michael Turner is corralled at the 10. Again, tremendous penetration by the Maryland interior defense.
Maryland has found a way to slow down Michael Turner in the running game. Michael Turner in the running game, excuse me. But as I said earlier, this Northern Illinois football team, recognizing that they were getting beat at the point of attack on the left side of their offensive line, they're now running out of a lot of 2 tight end sets, trying to protect their young left offensive tackle.
Second down, and Josh Haldy ducks under center. And he's going to hand it again to Michael Turner, and Michael Turner will pick up a couple of yards. Again, good pursuit by Maryland. They are definitely locked in, Tom, on Michael Turner. They call him Turner the Burner. He's on the front page of the sports section of USA Today. And so what Maryland's coaching staff did, very smart, they got a copy of that sports section for every guy on the team. And they said, this is the guy. Are you tired of hearing about him yet? You better know where he is tonight.
Well, they've shut him down in the second quarter.
They've done a wonderful job. Gary Blackney's defense has really come to play. Haldy out of the shotgun. And Haldy is going to be sacked. Football's loose, but I think they've already blown it dead. Yes, they have, but big play for the Maryland defense. Smith and company inside. Knock Haldy to the turf. They'll spot it actually at the 6, and Northern Illinois will have to get off a punt from deep in their own end zone.
Yeah, it just looks like young offensive tackle Doug Free gets beaten right there by Scott Smith. Ball loose, they call it down. Again, that's a battle that more times than not Northern is going to lose.
Scott Smith had back surgery a year ago, has come back very, very well from that. JoJo Walker catches it at the 40. JoJo Walker up near midfield, breaks a tackle, breaks another. There is yellow laundry on the field. We'll find out what the penalty is. Good solid return into Northern Illinois territory. They'll spot it at the 47-yard line. We'll find out what the penalty is.
Someone wearing a white jersey did something illegal. How's that? Is that a little vague for you?
It's a hold on Maryland, so they will take this return backwards.
Pretty safe bet from where that flag was thrown. That's someone on Maryland's return team.
Going to return. We have an illegal block in the back, above the waist, by the return team. 10 yards from the spot, from the end of the run, first down.
Nothing chaps the backside of a college football coach than a silly mistake like that.
We're going to take a timeout. We'll come back. Don't you go anywhere because we got a whale of a ball game for you here on Fox Sports Net. This special edition of College Football Saturday on Fox Sports Net brought to you by the Kyocera smartphone. This is one smartphone. By Infinity, makers of innovative, high-performance premium vehicles, and by Polaris, the way out. Back to live action, handoff inside, and Maryland will advance it, I believe, to about the 47. I think it was Allen. As you get a look at Joe Novak, Joe Novak was the defensive coordinator here back in the early 80s when Bill Mallory led Northern Illinois out of the doldrums into the California Bowl and a MAC championship. He then went to Indiana with Bill Mallory. Did you know Coach Mallory's at home tonight in Bloomington, Indiana, and he's watching this game. One of the finest people I've ever met in college sports, and one whale of football.
Very proud of Joe Novak.
Yes, he is. He had quite a group of sons come through that were fine football
Maryland,
players.
that's their first team timeout.
He came, today we were down on the sidelines and a guy walked up and said, you don't remember me, but we met a long time ago. Vince Scott, who was a great kicker on that team. He now lives in Bloomington. I just want to know if Vince could drive up here, why did Coach Mallory pile in the car? Didn't want to spring for the gas? I don't know, come on up.
I have no idea behind his motivation for staying home. I will tell you this, I expect Maryland...
He's actually leaving on a trip in the morning. I thought I'd take a shot at it.
With less than 3 minutes to go in the second quarter and good field position, I think you'll see them... Now, I could be completely incorrect here, but I would think they would go into a smash mouth mode here.
Try and grind it out.
Try to grind it out a little bit. Obviously, you have to be aware of the clock. They push the ball downfield a little bit, but certainly take advantage of the size mismatch they have right now.
Allen is the single back. McBrien out of the shotgun. Barking out his signals. And it looks like Northern saying Maryland jumped, and Maryland is pointing and saying that Northern jumped across the line. We'll find out what the officials say. And it is an illegal procedure on Maryland. So move them back 5 yards.
See all the activity from the Northern defense. Got this Maryland front five a little jumpy. Center Kyle Schmidt a little quick with the snap. Never really got it back to McBrien, but started the move.
Second and 6 for Maryland. Now second and 11 after the penalty. McBrien fires a wide receiver screen and an outstanding tackle by Randy Drew.
Just a great athletic play by Randy Drew. Not the biggest guy in the world, an excellent cover man. Randy, Dandy Randy, they call him right there, slips the block from Latrez Harrison and just makes a great open field tackle. Maryland gets a lot of credit for their experience and talented secondary. Well, Northern's got 4 guys back there that can play as well.
Nick Duffy, the middle linebacker, looking like he wants to show some pressure, Tom. McBrien from the shotgun. Straight drop, looking, fires downfield, and it is incomplete. Randy Drew absolutely drilled JoJo Walker.
Well, JoJo Walker's got to make this play. Scott McBrien's getting no help from his wide receivers tonight. Maryland now 0 for 5 on third downs. Pretty good delivery. Ball that's got to be caught.
I think he heard some footsteps, don't you?
Well, that's no excuse come film session tomorrow about 9 a.m. Now Northern will get the ball back with 2 minutes to go. They've got a chance.
Dan Sheldon, gloves and all, is the deep man.
I just never had a good feel for gloves, especially when it would get cold out. That leather would freeze. I always thought you had a better feel for just your natural skin.
When you played Stickum was illegal, correct?
That is correct. I'm old, but I'm not that old. Looks
Coming
like Randy Drew actually a fine corner from Northern.
Shaking
Up
up
banged up on the play.
Coming up at halftime, there will be a feature on Northern Illinois University's rise to prominence, how they built this program. Halftime highlights and stats. Tom will clean up the big bottle of water he just spilled, and we'll have a locker room report for you here on Fox Sports Net. Low snap, and Podlesh gets it away. Outstanding play to catch that and get rid of it, and it will go out of bounds right around the 20-yard line. That was a fine play by that punter. Northern Illinois a year ago, 27 scoring drives in under 2 minutes last season.
They have the big play ability, quick strike ability, but again, field position. Huskies gotta feel great about being up 10-7 right now. They have started an average starting point of their own 22-yard line and still making progress against this very good Maryland defense.
Get a look at Haldy.
Done an excellent job taking care of the football tonight, despite the pressure from Maryland. Down in and down out. They have not turned the ball over.
Haldy hands it off to Michael Turner, tries to pick his way across the 20 to around the 22.
Not a bad decision. Of course, you'd like to score some points here, but at the same time, to go into the locker room against the preseason rated 13th team in the nation, not a bad first half of football for the Huskies. They look content to take their time, not make any big mistakes. They may take a shot downfield, but certainly they do not want to give the ball back to Maryland.
Right now, Michael Turner, and you've got to credit the Maryland defense, 14 carries for 40 yards.
They have solved that problem.
Josh Haldy under center, and he will hand it again to Michael Turner. Turner bangs his way near
And
the 25.
You're going to see Maryland take a timeout right here. Good decision by Ralph Friedgen.
Yes, they will.
Huskies look content, like I said, to go into the locker room with a
Timeout.
10-7 halftime lead.
Maryland, that's their second charge timeout.
Maryland would like to take one more shot at taking it in before we get to halftime.
Ralph Friedgen is an absolutely tremendous coach, an offensive guru. But when I talked to him the other day, he said when I came in, we had some guys living in apartments and everybody was fractured.
Yep.
He said, I moved them all back in. I wasn't the most popular guy for doing it, but we instilled some discipline that he thought the program needed, and you cannot argue with his results. This man has been a fabulous builder of that Maryland program, and he's done it in literally overnight fashion, Tom. You said this year, his third year,
That's right,
was when they thought they could start to play with the big boys. Last year, 11-3, throttled Tennessee, a powerhouse every year, 30-3, I believe, or 31-3 in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. And now this year, they believe after losing E.J. Henderson, the Butkus Award winner, they believe that they're a better football team this year once they get everybody back and healthy.
Yeah.
They're missing some key guys tonight, including Bruce Perry.
And a big reason is Scott McBrien, who for the first time in Ralph Friedgen's era is a returning starting quarterback, and that adds so much continuity to what you're trying to do on offense, not having to try to fill that quarterback role each and every year. It's a good football team, a team that should contend for the ACC title.
3rd and 5, Haldy's going to roll, he's going to fire, he looks for Fleck, and he has made the catch, and that is, it looks like a first down. Talk about a guy knowing where the sticks are. B.J. Fleck goes right to the sticks and makes the catch for a first down for Northern Illinois.
He's having a whale of a ball game right now. As we said earlier, missed most of last season with a hamstring problem. Just a quick out. Haldy throws it in a spot where only Fleck can catch it. And again, it looks like Northern just content to go into halftime with a 10-7 lead.
Fans would rather try something downfield. Josh Haldy says, nope, I don't think so.
Well, I think if you would have polled the fans prior to kickoff and you suggested to them that the Huskies would be leading 10-7 at halftime, I don't think you would hear many boos, or I think they would all agree that it would be an outstanding first 30 minutes of football if they could do that, and that's exactly what they've done.
Well, we will go to the locker room now. Just keep in mind, Joe Novak's first game as a head coach was in College Park against the Maryland Terrapins. Northern went to the locker room, with a decidedly inferior club back then, 8 years ago. With a 6-3 lead, Maryland won the game 30-6. We will find out if 8 years recruiting, building a program have changed things, plus playing in DeKalb for the Huskies. The 15th ranked Terrapins on the short end right now of a 10-7 score. Let's go to Mitch Robinson with Ralph Friedgen.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. The first touchdown came so easily. The offense kind of sputtering. What adjustments are you going to make in the second half?
We got some plays open. We're just not making any plays. And give NIU credit. They are making the plays and we're not. Right now, we got to go back and regroup, and we got to make up our minds what we're going to do here. We're going to go out and just show up, or we're going to start playing.
On the flip side, your defense is shut down. They're Heisman Trophy hopeful, but their passing game seems to be heating up.
Well, we miss a guy on a blitz, and then they make a big play. We don't make a play, they make a play. That's why they're winning. They're making plays and we're not.
All right, go get them, Coach. Thanks a lot. All right, stay with us. Halftime just getting underway right here on Fox Sports Net. Reports from both locker rooms and so much more. We'll be right back.
So you take a 10-7 lead into the break. What was the mood in the locker room, and what was your message to the team?
It was still subdued. We knew we had a long way to go, and we were playing a quality opponent. And I was nervous at the beginning of the game. We got the ball first, and they stopped us immediately, and they got the ball and drove right down the field and scored. So I was afraid that maybe it was going to be a long night. But the halftime we were subdued. We tried to make adjustments that were necessary, and we had some confidence because we were ahead. We were in the game, so that was good. But we knew we had a long way to go. We knew they were a quality opponent, so we just tried to remain calm and get things done and get ready to play the second half.
Welcome back to Northern Illinois. Let's go right to the sideline. Gail Fisher with Joe Novak.
Thanks a lot, Dave. Coach, outside of that first possession, you've really held Maryland in this first half. Are you happy with the way your defense is playing?
Well, I am right now, but I know that they're really a potent offense. We got to continue to play off of will.
You have dominated the total offensive yards. However, the rushing game might not be where you want it to be. Are you going to make some adjustments?
Well, we're going to try, but they're putting a lot of people up there, which we knew they would. It's tough for Michael to run it. We got to mix some passing and try to pop him when we can.
All right, Coach. Good luck in that second half. Let's send it over to Mitch now, who's got the Maryland side of things. Mitch?
Thanks a lot, Gail. Inside the locker room, Ralph Friedgen said, quote, this is what I worried about all through double sessions. You're in a dogfight now. He said, are we what they think we are, overrated? This is the time that Maryland will test their poise. Look for them to spread out the offense. They want to move the linebackers out from inside the box. Back to Dave.
Thank you, Mitch. We are getting ready to put the ball in the air. Tom Waddle, good second half.
It should be, and I think Ralph Friedgen need not panic. He's got a great football team. Things have not gone his way. We talked about it at halftime. Some of his players have dropped passes. They've made mistakes. They've turned the football over. Be patient. Do what you've been coached to do through the entire summer. And you have to believe that your talent matches up very well with the guys in the red jerseys and the black pants.
Azar will put the ball on the tee. You get a look at Ralph Friedgen, and I would imagine it was a fairly animated Ralph Friedgen in the locker room at the half.
Well, I'm sure he grabbed a couple of his wide receivers carefully around the shoulder pads and suggested, hey guys, listen, you've got a height advantage, you've got a weight advantage. You've got to get out there and make some plays. You are leaving your quarterback hanging. Scott McBrien is throwing the football well tonight. His receivers just have not come through.
Now the clock is malfunctioning here in DeKalb, we are being told, so they will be keeping the time on the field. We will do our best to keep you apprised of the time. As you see, 3:58, not quite where it needs to be.
It's up to you because I'm not wearing a watch right now.
Our clock on the Fox Sports Net broadcast will be right on the numbers for you.
Northern needs to maintain the same enthusiasm they had as the first half ended. Once again, week one, the officials look a little confused.
Anthony Gallagher's going to handle the kickoff chore here.
Please turn off the game clock and the 25-second clock.
I think they should just play until they get tired.
Well, let's go to the locker room and see what Joe Novak had to say to his guys.
Got to have some football to play. Is that not correct? This first half is fine, but it ain't over yet. Got a half football to play. Think of the winter, think of the spring, think of the summer, what you're playing for. Lay it on the field, man. Leave it out there. Leave it out there. Play your ass off. Know what we're here for, and let's get the damn thing done. Okay, let's go.
A bit of a false start here on our kick. Crowd anxious. They want second half football.
As I said, it's early in the season. There are going to be mistakes.
One of the officials is standing there with Gallagher, and he
Both
just
the
looked at
game
him and
clock
laughed.
and 25-second clock will be kept on the field.
So there you have it. The clocks will be kept on the field, but for those of you at home, we've got all the toys for you. We've got our big TV up here, the 1st and 10 line. We've got the sideline reporters, Gail and Mitch. I'm David Kaplan. He's Tom Waddle, a former Chicago Bears superstar wide receiver.
Bit overboard there. This is
I
difficult
read it
for
the way you wrote it.
for the players on the field too. If they don't have access to a correct scoreboard, they have to listen to the officials as well to know what's happening with the time.
JoJo Walker grabs it inside his 10, turns the corner across the 30 and knocked out of bounds right near the 35-yard line. And Maryland goes on the attack. First possession of the second half, trailing 10-7.
Once again, Maryland with decent field position. A lot of mistakes in the first half. Actually, the numbers do not do Scott McBrien justice. Only 7 of 13 for 66 yards. Those numbers should be much better. With Trez Harrison, Jafar Williams, both with a rough first half of football. Lots of drop balls.
McBrien's going to hand it off inside. Absolutely nothing doing for Josh Allen.
That's probably the third time we've seen Rob Lee with great run support from his corner position. He just beats the Maryland right side of the line to the punch. Josh Allen goes down behind the line of scrimmage. Rob Lee, a young man who missed most of last season, recovering from an ACL injury. He's had a whale of a ball game tonight.
Second down and 10, maybe 11. McBrien under center. He's going to drop straight back. He's going to fire, and it is complete. Rich Parson, I believe, the man that made the catch, and he is knocked out of bounds right around the 43-yard line.
Well, Scott McBrien's getting smart. He's throwing it to somebody that's going to catch the football for him. Leaves them with a 3rd and short, and again, these are much more manageable situations. He ended the first half with several 3rd and longs, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, and it really takes you out of what you want to do offensively when you face those types of downward distance.
A 3rd and 1 for Maryland. Fiddler and Allen, the handoff Allen, and he bursts through the line, and he's hit at the 45-yard line, but that will be enough for a Maryland first down.
Josh Allen gets credit for the first down. Needs to share some of the accolades with Bernie Fiddler, his lead fullback there, who was clearing a path. Again, Maryland comes out very calm, not panicking, going back to their control style of offense.
McBrien barks out signals on a 1st and 10 for the Maryland Terrapins. 11-3 a year ago, one of the nation's best teams in the preseason rankings. Handoff Allen, and Allen knocked down at the 50, across the 50 at the 43.
Well executed play. Wide receiver Rich Parson makes that happen with a solid block, springing Josh Allen for a good 8-yard gain. I know it's early. It just looks like Maryland, though, is a little bit more relaxed, a little more confident with what they're trying to do right now.
Second down for the Maryland Terrapins. Fiddler, Allen the tail of the tandem. Handoff Josh Allen, and he goes nowhere. Lit up by Nick Duffy, the middle linebacker, number 45, to put the hit on Josh Allen, and that will bring up another 3rd down for the Terps.
This is a great play by Nick Duffy, your prototypical middle linebacker, a true run stuffer. He sees the gap, and that's just great one-on-one blocking. Nick Duffy, 6 foot, 2 inches, 244 pounds, has a size advantage over Josh Allen. He won the battle at the point of attack.
3rd and 2, the I formation again. McBrien, hand off Josh Allen, and he's going to get the first down and a whole lot more. Duffy will tackle him at the 35-yard line. They ran off the left side of the line, and a big first down for the Maryland Terrapins, and they are now at the Husky 35 in business, 1st and 10.
Nothing fancy about that. Again, you keep it 3rd and short. Manageable distance, just a power I run.
Single back set. McBrien barks out the signals on a 1st and 10. Drops back, looks, has time. He's going to run with the football, and he is knocked down at the 33. And I believe that was Leonard Cooksey on the tackle.
Well, that's an athletic play for a guy pushing the scales at almost 300 pounds.
But again, you can tell that Scott McBrien really not hampered by the groin problem, because he has been more than willing to step up out of that pocket.
He's done a nice job tonight.
He has. 2nd down for Maryland. Single back set again is Josh Allen. McBrien, delay, the handoff Josh Allen, and Josh Allen met by a pack of red shirts. A pack of red-shirted Huskies came flying in.
Well, I think Northern
Eric Pittman, I believe, might have been the man in there.
defensive
Jason Frank.
Huskies defensive coordinator Scott Schaefer realizes that he's given away a lot of size and strength at the line of scrimmage. They're trying to slow down this Maryland running game by bringing blitzes with your safeties, your linebackers, and trying to create a little havoc back there in the Maryland backfield.
McBrien's going to go out of the shotgun. Barks out his signals on a 3rd and 7. Big play for the Maryland offense, big play for the Husky defense. Northern puts pressure on. McBride is tripped up on an outstanding play by Vincent Reynolds. Spied the quarterback and brought him down.
Play developed nicely. McBride sees an alley, and then Vincent Reynolds just with a great athletic play.
And now Nick Novak will come on and attempt a field goal. A 46-yard attempt. Snap, set, kick is away. It is perfect. He drills it, and we are all even. Nick Novak, 46-yard field goal, put the points on the board for the Terps. It's 10-10. Got a doozy here in DeKalb. This special edition of College Football Saturday on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by the Kyocera smartphone. Baby, this is one smartphone. By Acura. Experience the performance today at your local Acura dealer. And by Rust-Oleum Epoxy Shield for the ultimate garage floor. Maryland will kick it away. They have tied it. It is 10-10. 10-play, 38-yard scoring drive. Took 5:18. Novak drilling the field goal. It's Randy Drew and Lionel Hickenbottom. Deep for Northern. Nick Novak has the ball on the tee, and he is ready to go. Driving kick, Randy Drew in the end zone, thinks about it, takes 2 steps, and says, I waited too long, no way. Let's go down to the sidelines and Gail Fisher.
Thanks a lot. I'm with Dr. John Peters, president of Northern Illinois University. And how happy are you to have this big game here today on a day that you're rededicating your field?
This is just tremendous. We have a sellout crowd, and we dedicated the field for the almost 50 years contribution of Dr. Bob Brigham, who was our athletic director, who took us into Division I-A athletic status. So we couldn't be more pleased.
And the schedule that this football team has this season is really going to put you guys on the national map.
Oh, it's a tremendous schedule. We go to Alabama, Iowa State is here. and we have a tremendous football team, and Mike, the Burner Turner, is just tremendous.
This may sound like an odd question when you think of all the household names on that 03 team. A lot of diehard Husky fans know what that team went through that year. I mean, 10 wins. You beat Maryland, you beat Alabama, you beat Iowa State, but no bowl game at the end of the year, no MAC championship. Do you think that team gets its just due?
No. I said that at the time, and I got in trouble because Northwestern went to a bowl that year at 6-6, and I got in trouble saying that I felt our team deserved to go a heck of a lot more than theirs did, and I still believe that. That was a gross injustice, and I don't want to make excuses, Joe, but later in that year we really got beat up. We lost Nick Duffy in game number 6, and he was our defensive leader. And we lost Akeel Grant for an extended period of time, and going through that meat grinder, we won, but we got beat up real good, and we weren't the same team at the end of the year. And Bowling Green was really good then, as was Toledo. And they both got us. So we ended up 10-2, still good enough, still should have gone to a bowl. But no, I don't really think those guys get their just due. And I understand you are what your record says you are. But that was a really fine football team. And those were kids, a lot of those kids came to us in recruiting time when we weren't very good and had a real leap of faith with us. And, we were really happy with what they did and what they continued to do after that.
First down.
And Josh Haldy sits in the pocket strong once again. He takes a shot, delivers the ball to Keith Perry, though. Again, playing the Q position, Northern likes to call. Kind of a cross between a fullback and a tight end. You'll see Maryland with some more pressure. Keith Perry, wide receiving skills, but also a guy that can help you out in the running game. Big kid that can block.
Yep, very physical player. They spotted actually right around the 40-yard line. Haldy, rolling, evades one rush and gets out of bounds wisely, very wisely.
Leroy Ambush, and a great name for a linebacker, by the way. Leroy Ambush. He has really done a nice job containing the Northern tight ends tonight. Nowhere for Haldy to go with that ball. Wisely, as we've talked about all night long, he makes the right decision.
Now, when you have a name like Ambush, you have to play defense.
I would think
and
so.
you have to play football.
I would think so.
Don't be a boxer or a wrestler. Certainly can't be a figure skater or a gymnast. Ambush, outstanding name. Haldy, delay, gives it to Michael Turner, breaks one tackle, and look at that pursuit by Maryland. There were a host of white jerseys in there. Leon Joe, Ambush, a whole crew.
Well, it's the right idea.
Well, Jackson, they were all there.
Matt Canada's got the right idea, the offensive coordinator for Northern. You've got to try to take some of the steam out of this front seven, and you do it by running screen plays, draws, misdirections, anything to keep them on their toes. If they over-pursue, you can hit them in a seam and possibly create a big play.
Keith Perry is your motion man. Haldy drops back, he's pressured, and he's going down.
There's a screen that just was thwarted by the Maryland defense. They were trying to get the ball to Keith Perry, it looked like. They faked the screen to the right side, coming back to the left, and Haldy, once again, nowhere to go with the ball, makes a good decision.
Smith, Jackson, Williams, all there. This is, as you put it, a jailbreak.
That's a jailbreak, and I'm crediting him for making the right decision. I'm not so sure he had a choice right there.
Northern to punt, they get it away. It's a very, very low kick, but it will hit. JoJo Walker makes the catch off the bounce, breaks some tackles, and brings it out with a very nice return to the 36-yard line.
Once again, Maryland with decent field position.
We're going to take a timeout. We are at Pregame Field at Huskie Stadium on the campus of Northern Illinois University in DeKalb, Illinois. We got a great ball game going, 10-10. The NFL returns to Fox on Sunday, September 7th with a doubleheader beginning with America's #1 pregame show as JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy get you ready for NFL Kickoff 2003. Then the Rams take on the Giants as both teams try to start their season with a win. Then the Falcons head to Dallas where Bill Parcells begins his quest to bring these Cowboys back to glory for other regional action. Coverage begins September 7th at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, and you know where, on Fox. Northern back at the attack, handoff to Michael Turner, and he is able to gain 5, close to 6 yards on that run. Smith and ambush in on the play, and Scott Smith is still down, number 54, and here come the Maryland training staff.
Well, first 2 drives here in the second half for Northern.
Looks like guys are cramping up time.
Well, I mean, it's been very hot. It really has.
We saw that with Randy Drew,
Yeah.
and now we see that, it looks like, and I'm just guessing, with Scott Smith.
You know, you've heard a lot of talk recently about people criticizing both the NFL and the NCAA with regard to how difficult training camps are. And I'm sorry, folks, having been in both situations, the only way you prepare yourself to play in conditions, now obviously the sun has gone down now, and it's a little cooler, but it's 90 degrees at game time, and the only way you get yourself ready to play is by practicing in that type of environment. So these things are going to happen. Obviously, you keep your athletes hydrated, but cramps are going to occur, and that's why it's important to have very good depth, because when one guy runs out, the next guy, backup's got to step in and make the play.
Right, you read columns where people say, oh, that coach is too hard on his guys. Why are they practicing that heat? And you're right, you've been there at both levels, and guys have got to get accustomed and get acclimated to playing in this oppressive heat, which we had at the start of the game.
They're taking Scott's, I don't know what his injury is, but Scott Smith's going into the training room right now, so it's probably a little bit more than cramps.
Now, did you ever at halftime have to get fluids?
Oh yeah, it's very common, very common. And I had such little body fat to
See, and I just got my cholesterol checked where they just kind of prick your finger and I fainted. So to give me an IV, it wouldn't work. Handoff again to Michael Turner, and he tries to drive his legs and really picks up nothing again. A group of red and white shirts came flying up to meet Mr. Turner, and let's go to Mitch Robinson with a heat report.
That's right. You know, they just brought him in the locker room, Maryland, for cramps. And they have IVs in there. They have all kinds of other stuff. They're going to try to get him back, loosen him up, and rehydrate, and then get their players back on the field. But they didn't have a report of the heat, but the humidity is just murder down here as well. Boys.
Thank you, Mitch. So
it's not the so-called dry heat out here in DeKalb, is it?
No, not like Phoenix.
That's right.
Josh Haldy on a 3rd and 4 for the Huskies. Dan Sheldon, your motion man. Haldy fires, finds Sheldon, and he stretches, and it's going to be very close to a first down for the Huskies. Looks like from this vantage point that he got it.
Well, Dan Sheldon's been the forgotten man in the first 3 quarters of football. A speedster, a big play guy, but right here he serves as a possession guy, moving the chains. 3rd and 4, but this is where you like to be as an offense. Good pickup by Michael Turner. Sheldon with the reception finds the first down stake. And the drive continues.
Haldy gonna go deep. He looks, he throws, and it's incomplete. Josh Haldy fired downfield. Sam Hurd and Haldy, you can see, thinks, I had it. I was just going to say to you before that play, when do you take a shot down the field if you're Northern Illinois?
I think you have to. I think that they're torn between playing conservative a little bit, taking care of the football, but you still have to stretch a defense to keep them honest. I'm not so sure Sam Hurd was real open out there, but...
There's our current weather. It's cooled off 8 degrees since we started this football game. 2nd and 10 for the Huskies. Haldy fakes to Turner. He fires, looks for Fleck. He's got him. Turns it upfield and is knocked out of bounds by Dominic Foxworth. Solid tackle, solid play.
There you go with a misdirection again. A little bit of a bootleg. Gets themselves once again into a manageable 3rd and short. Good game for P.J. Fleck. Really has been the star on offense so far for Northern.
And a 3rd and 4 situation. We're inside 2 minutes left, 3rd quarter. David Kaplan and Tom Waddle with you. Gail Fisher, Mitch Robinson working the sidelines. Pete Perry is the motion man. Northern's going to throw. Haldy fires, finds Sheldon, and that should be a first down, and Sheldon immediately grabs his knee.
Never like to see that.
And here comes the training staff quickly out. Dan Sheldon made the catch, was upended, and immediately grabbed his knee.
This is why I have nightmares. That's not good. The knee is not supposed to bend in that direction. It was not as violent as what we saw last year with Willis McGahee, but a similar, it looks like, type of injury. A fairly significant.
Grabbing that left knee.
It looks like he hyperextended it. You just hate to see that. But to his credit, he caught the football.
Now, I wanted to ask you that. That was one of my questions for you. You were known as a guy who was not fleet of foot, but you were a guy.
I don't know where you got that information.
That 4.9 40 time
was a 4.8.
Sorry. But you were a guy that anyone that watched you play, and Sheldon will be helped off the field to a nice ovation from the Northern Illinois fans.
Well, you've got one job, and that's it. Well, you also are asked to block, but your biggest job is to catch the football. And Dan Sheldon comes across the middle fearlessly, makes the catch. It was a good hit by the Maryland defensive back. It's a violent game.
It's a very violent game. But my question to you was, when you go over the middle and you see guys like Randy Starks who are huge, what's going through your mind?
I'll catch the football, because the verbal abuse from Mike Ditka was harder to take than the physical abuse from the players I was out there playing against.
Haldy gives it to Turner, and he is wrapped up just across the 45-yard line.
That's not a good example of what I was going to mention, but Northern in this second half done a much better job on first down. They left themselves with 2nd and 9 right now, but with this defense, as many athletes as Maryland has, you just cannot allow them to tee off on your quarterback at 3rd and long, 2nd and long.
One thing it looks like that Northern has won tonight is the possession back, time of possession.
Yes, they have.
Haldy is going to throw. He is pressured. He fires, and it is incomplete, intended for Sam Hurd.
Like Jerome Cox completely pinned Sam Hurd to the sideline. Michael Turner, once again, has not had an outstanding night running the football, but on that particular play did a great job picking up the blitzing linebacker, Leroy Ambush. He's the full package, he really is, and that's something that when an NFL scout puts on the film later this week or sometime down the road, they will recognize that.
Haldy going to throw. He is going downfield and nobody home. The only man home was Madu Williams, number 10 for Maryland. Now, he is a transfer from Towson, but a very interesting story on this young man, Madu Williams. He spent his summer in the internship program at the National Institutes of Health to prepare himself, he says, for life after football. His job, he worked with kids who are terminally ill. He had to get those kids who can't get their minds off their terminal illness and get their minds off it. Play games, whatever it took. And he said it put everything he does on the football field in complete perspective. A wonderful young man, Madu Williams. And that punt will roll down right around the 12-yard line, where Maryland will go back on the attack. Madu Williams is a kind of guy that represents all the good things in college sports.
And he's an excellent young man and an even better football player, maybe. Or maybe just as good a football player as he is a young man. He certainly will play on Sundays in the National Football League.
And let's go back down to the sidelines. Gail Fisher with a report on number 5, Dan Sheldon.
Well, Dave, Sheldon just came running out of the locker room, so he is fine. It looks like he just hyperextended his knee a little bit, but shouldn't be a problem. He will return to this game. And I talked to NIU's team physician who said, yeah, they are dealing with some cramps. The heat, this being the first game of the year, everybody's not up to 100% because of the weather. That's a report from down on the field.
Thank you, Gail.
That's surprising after that hit to see Dan Shelton thinking about coming back into the ball game.
Latrez Harrison makes the catch for Maryland. 6'2", 223-pound senior, was a quarterback here at one time, shifted to wide receiver. Big, strong young man makes the catch, and it's a 1st and 10 for the Terps. Hand off Josh Allen. He's got running room, and Josh Allen across the 25 near the 36, 37-yard line. Excuse me, 26, 27 yard line.
They just packed it in. 2 tight ends, 1 wide receiver. Play a little smash mouth football.
Well, we've come to the end of 3 quarters of play. Great ball game. 10-10. We'll come back with the exciting 4th quarter.
So we're tied 10-10 heading into the 4th quarter. What did you feel was going to be key for that last stanza and pulling out the win?
Well, Joe, you know, as I look back at the game, it was a game of awful field position for us. You know, we had the ball inside our 20, it seemed like every time. And we weren't going to drive the ball for the most part 80 yards against them. Well, it did happen, but really it was one time. But it was very difficult to do, and it was really a lot of field position stuff. They would get a couple first downs and then pin us back, and we couldn't move it much. So it was very much a field position game.
I think that's been Joe Novak's approach throughout his last several years. He feels very comfortable with the level of athletes he has on that roster now. If they can hang close, particularly with talented teams late in games, he feels he's got the horses, the squad to come away with big wins.
3rd and 4 situation now for Maryland. Allen, the single back set. McBrien under center. Tosses to Josh Allen. Northern's pursuit will wrap him up. And now we've got a little bit of extracurricular activities. JoJo Walker's helmet goes flying. And he and Lionel Hickenbottom, a pair of number 9s, exchanging words, and Maryland will be forced to punt.
Just a great job by this Northern Illinois defense stringing this thing out. Vincent Reynolds once again gets into the play. Nick Duffy, I think right now Maryland's becoming very frustrated with what they're seeing out of this Husky football team.
And there is Dan Sheldon back to return the punt, Tom, so the knee must be feeling A-okay.
It's one tough kid.
That is one tough cookie. The punt, a deep driving spiral. Sheldon catches it at the 12, makes a move. He's at the 20. He turns the corner, up the middle, and to the 25-yard line. Nice cut back. Obviously the knee feeling A-okay. NIU has the football. Early stages, 4th quarter. Their own 25-yard line. Michael Turner, as he's been all night, the single back set. Keith Perry, the man in the motion. Haldy looks, steps up, it's going to run, and slides down and just short of the 30-yard line, and Leroy Ambush nearly decapitated.
Well, he's fortunate that he didn't get a penalty right there for leading with his helmet. Josh Haldy, just a tough kid. Sat in the pocket all night, taking the hits, tucks this one and runs, and you see right there Leroy Ambush leading with the crown of his helmet.
I think he did, though, try and avoid him at the last second. It was close. Haldy throws, finds P.J. Fleck, breaks a tackle, and advances it near the 40-yard line. A first down for the Huskies as the clock ticks to 12:33.
Nothing fancy, just keep moving the chains with a controlled passing attack. And Haldy making a good decision. Fleck shows he's a little bit better athlete than many believe. Gets the first down. Big night for P.J. Fleck.
Haldy under center, drops back, fires, and it is intercepted by Dominique Foxworth. Intercepted by Maryland. Northern's first turnover of the ball game, and that is what you call a big play.
Josh Haldy looking for Dan Sheldon. Dan Sheldon just slipped on the play. He's got good time to throw. You'll see Sheldon is down, and just a great catch.
That's
by Dominique Foxworth.
Outstanding play by Foxworth.
You're absolutely right. This is
Hey,
a momentum shifter.
Northern Illinois football on Fox Sports Net, brought to you by Culver's Frozen Custard and Butterburgers, America's favorite, made fresh. U.S. Cellular, we connect with you. Applebee's, eating good in the neighborhood. The Village Commons Bookstore, check them out at vcbs.com. And Subway, eat fresh. And Maryland back on the attack. Scott McBrien slips down at the 42-yard line, but does pick up 5-6 yards for the Terps as the clock ticks toward 11:50.
Turnovers just kill you, especially midfield.
So one turnover for each club. This one a huge one for the Maryland Terrapins, putting them in business in Northern Territory. Maldonado rumbles, knocked down by Akil Grant. But that will be a Maryland first down.
Sammy Maldonado, nice job running between the tackles. Josh Allen, more of the speed back, good at getting around the corner, but this big young man, 231 pounds, someone you want to get in front of when he's got a full head of steam.
Single back set again is Sammy Maldonado. McBrien under center. And he changes the play at the line of scrimmage, drops back, goes deep down the field, and overthrows his man, Latrez Harrison.
Harrison had a step on Randy Drew,
which you normally do not see. Randy Drew's as quick as any corner.
That's right. You don't normally see Scott McBrien throw the ball out of bounds.
And that will bring up a 2nd down and 10 with 11:01 left, fourth quarter. You could not have asked for a better ball game to open the college football season here on Fox Sports Net.
We thought this would be a very competitive game. Northern really has improved their talent level, and it's been a very good football game.
2nd and 10, this time from the shotgun. McBrien takes the snap, looks, steps up, is going to run with the football, and is dragged down. Thought about sliding, and then is dragged down by Javon Lee.
Well, it's looked like tonight that McBrien's had a whole lot of open space to run in, but the holes have closed awful quick tonight.
Javon Lee has football in his blood. His father was a running back at Indiana State and was drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. 3rd and 7. Huge play for the Terp offense right here. They have not been outstanding on 3rd down tonight. Again, McBrien barks out the signals from the shotgun. And
motion from at least 2 of the Maryland wide receivers.
They have jumped the gun just a bit. We'll see if my partner is right.
Ralph Friedgen has to be beside himself.
Delay game by the offense.
Maybe they were trying to get out there knowing the clock was running down. They just do not look like they're all on the same page right now.
Would you attribute some of that to the wonderful schemes of Scott Schaefer, the Northern Illinois defensive coordinator, because they've been able to get such good pressure and close holes as you put?
I think that's some of it. I think it's just Maryland has been very undisciplined tonight. They've made a lot of mistakes that they don't normally make.
A 3rd and 12 now for Maryland. McBrien out of the shotgun. Northern's bringing pressure. McBrien looks, steps up, gonna run. Evades a tackle, dives, and will not get the first down.
Once again, Northern doing a nice job pinning McBrien inside that tackle box. He's had a hard time. He's had some lanes, but he's had a hard time getting outside.
And that was Brian Atkinson, number 38, who was in there on the stop.
Brian comes off a little slower this time.
He was a little slow getting up, but that heat has got to take its toll. This is a 50-yard attempt for Novak. The snap, the set, it's got the distance, it is good. He drills a 50-yarder, and the number 15 Terps with 9:10 left have grabbed a 13-10 lead over Northern Illinois. We will be back with the exciting conclusion. 9:10 to go. What a ball game.
I still find it hard to believe that Dan Sheldon is back returning kicks after watching his knee bend in the wrong direction.
Right, he will take the place of Randy Drew, who had been cramping up. Sheldon and Hickenbottom are your return men. High driving kick, and this one's going to go to the Sheldon in the end zone. He's coming out. Sheldon across the 10. Sheldon to the 15. Sheldon is dragged on. A penalty marker comes flying in, and he's nailed at the 15-yard line.
One of the Northern Illinois players lost his helmet.
Let's take a look at the Labatt game stats.
Flag on the play.
Well, again, the one number that stands out to me, the rushing yards. Northern Illinois with just 30 yards. Michael Turner the burner, really never got on track tonight. Maryland's played much better football offensively in the second half. They've now overtaken Northern Illinois. Total yards, 221 to 208.
By the return team. The distance to the goal. First down.
Well, Northern's task of tying or taking the lead in this ballgame just got a little tougher. A hold on the kick return backs them up half the distance to the goal, and they are going to start at their own 8-yard line.
Not what you like to see if you're Joe Novak.
No. Not when you've had a lot of trouble trying to run the football.
That's exactly right. 30 yards on the ground tonight.
And the handoff to Michael Turner, crashes into the hole, fights off a tackler, and is across the 10 to the 11, possibly the 12. We'll see where they spot it.
Still a lot of time left in this football game, just under 9 minutes. I'm sure offensive coordinator Matt Canada's telling Josh Haldy, hey, listen, obviously we're going to try to do some things offensively here, but let's not make any mistakes and give the ball back to Maryland.
We see the Nissan scoring drive, 6 plays, 15 yards. Took just 258, but it's good from 50 yards by Novak.
Two outstanding kickers in tonight's ball.
Yes, Azar and Novak, outstanding. Fleck, your motion man. Haldy drops back, has time, fires for Fleck, and he makes the catch, but it will be short of the first down mark. But as you like to put it, Tom, it's now a makeable situation.
That's exactly right. Especially deep in your own end, the last thing you want to be facing is a lot of 3rd and longs. But again, this has been a very difficult front 7 to run against for the Huskies in the second half.
Tell you, guy, Nick Duffy's gotten a lot of call tonight, and rightly so. He's played very well, but Dequel Jackson, the middle linebacker from Maryland, is also a very fine middle linebacker.
Timeout.
Solid tackle.
Illinois.
We're going to come back. A timeout for the Huskies on a huge 3rd down conversion. 13-10, Terp, 7:44 left. Welcome back to DeKalb, Illinois. It's Brigham Field at Huskie Stadium. I'm David Kaplan alongside former Bears standout wide receiver Tom Waddle. And Tom, this is exactly where Northern wanted to be. In the 4th quarter with a chance to win the football game.
No question. It looks so. They get the first down here on a short run, but it looks like they may have to go to the air to accomplish what they're trying to do. Maryland has really done a nice job shutting down Michael the Burner Turner. Really hasn't done much burning today. 30 yards total offense on the ground tonight for Northern Illinois. Maryland stout up front, and they really shut down that running attack for them.
But Maryland's so quick on their defensive penetration, they've taken away his lanes.
Well, they did a nice job, Northern Illinois did, making yardage and making things happen through the passing game in the first half. And I really believe they're going to have to go back to the air to make something happen here with 7.5 minutes left.
Well, 1st and 10 situation, and Haldy's going to throw, and Haldy is buried. Absolutely buried.
And maybe that was a bad suggestion to go to the air.
They got him.
We have a late flag.
Behind, and we do have Laundry on the field.
Once again, they're trying to set up the screen. Michael Turner just gets caught up in traffic.
Dead ball. Personal foul by the defense. 15 yards.
That's just a huge mistake. Maryland cannot make mistakes.
Automatic first down.
An absolutely awful mistake from Maryland.
Well, Ralph Friedgen said it when he went into the locker room at halftime. his guys are not making plays. And to compound that problem, his players are making mistakes.
Kevin Eli was the man who made the sack. But again, a personal foul on Maryland, a automatic first down. Automatic first down for the Huskies, which wipes out a very big sack. First and 10 situation, and you're right, Haldy's going to throw again. Fires for Keith Perry, and he drops.
Keith was looking to turn up and run with it before he had it. I just don't see Northern being able to move that front seven of Maryland running the football right now. At the very least, they're going to have to spread them out a little bit, accomplish something in the passing game to loosen things up. Coach Joe Novak has to be frustrated with their inability to run the ball, especially with a talented back like Michael Turner.
Northern with 2 tight ends. Haldy drops back, does have some time. Pop flies to the left side, goes deep and throws it out of bounds.
Nothing there. It's a very difficult secondary to throw on. And there's a little talking going on right now.
Shatone Powers was downfield, but tremendous coverage by that Maryland secondary.
Well, they're outstanding. All 4 starters from last year return. And in Madu Williams and Denard Wilson, you basically have 2 safeties that are as good as corners in the passing game. So very difficult. It's
a 3rd and 10 situation for the Huskies. Out of the shotgun. And I think we may have movement from Maryland across the line. We will find out if Northern jumped.
Again, at 3rd and 10, not a place where Joe Novak needs to see a penalty.
Dead ball, contact by the defense.
It is on Maryland.
5 yards,
another
repeat third down.
Crucial mistake by the Terps.
Well, regardless of how this game plays out, it'll be a very difficult ride home for this Maryland club.
And Ralph Friedgen is not a guy who minces words.
There'll be no mincing of words on that flight home, trust me.
He is not a guy that soft shoes or mollycoddles his guys. He is a guy that lets you know where you stand immediately.
I don't know what you just said, but I'll agree with you.
You know, you mentioned the name Denard Wilson. An interesting story. 18 months ago, Denard Wilson got a phone call. I heard a rumor that Ralph Friedgen was being courted for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers job.
Prior to the contact by defense. Please reset the clock to 6:37.
So he hears his coach is being courted for the Bucs vacancy that went to John Gruden. The next day, the team got together for conditioning. Wilson told all his teammates, don't take your sweats off and don't run for the man. In walks Friedgen, goes, what's going on? And he says, are you in or are you out? That's Ralph Friedgen's big saying. He got very emotional. He said, I'm in. That ended any thoughts of the Bucs. He's a Maryland man. Haldy fires, and he's got a first down.
Guess who?
P.J. Fleck.
So many times, regardless of the level of the NFL, the college level, you see wide receivers run 4-yard routes on 3rd and 6. Right here, you see a veteran player get past the first down marker, just a little arrow route, finds the first down, gets down, controls the football.
I'll tell you what,
as you see Josh Haldy taking a shot again.
And you see on the in-sync box a chance to see what happened to the QB and the wide receiver. And Northern's going to throw the football again. Back across the field to Keith Perry. Across the 40. Perry breaks into the clear and knocked out of bounds in Maryland territory. A little trickery from the Huskies. And they are in business with 6:03 to go.
Well, there's no question. The most efficient play they've run all night long has been the screen play, and they've run it out of a variety of different sets to a variety of different guys. Keith Perry.
Doug Free with an outstanding block. Outstanding block.
Well, again, this Northern front 5 can't match up with the Maryland front 7. A lot of misdirection.
And this time they give it to Michael Turner, and Michael Turner moves the pile. We have not seen much burning from the burner tonight, and that's a credit to the Maryland defense, but there, Turner with a very solid run moves the ball to the 33-34 yard line of the Terps.
And watch how methodically Josh Haldy runs this offense right now. Just over 5.5 minutes to go. Certainly want to get in the end zone, but really no rush.
Carrier motion man. Haldy going to throw, and he is hit. And Northern recovers it. Haldy was drilled, and they will call it an incomplete pass. Again, outstanding pressure from Maryland.
May have gotten away with one there. Pressure once again comes straight up the middle, and he just loses it on the way back. I'm not so sure that ball's not loose before he comes forward. Fortunately, Todd Galani drops on it, but they call it an incomplete pass. Once again, Northern with a very makeable 3rd and short.
3rd and 2 situation. Do you run or do you throw, Tom Waddle?
I run it.
And Michael Turner rumbles for the first down. I wanted a little quicker.
Okay, I'm sorry. Well, we haven't seen a whole lot of that tonight. Haven't seen the offensive line for Northern getting a whole lot of push, and we haven't seen Michael Turner running free a whole lot. What a great time for them to find a spot and convert that 3rd down.
Have you ever heard of the calling tree, Tom? It's when you call your buddies, you go, put the game on. It's on Fox Sports Net. Got a great one going. The number 15 Terps and the Huskies, the favorite to win the MAC Conference this year, driving to try and take the lead or tie it. Michael Turner, another big run. Huskies are moving the pile, and they are nearing the red zone.
Despite being undersized compared to that Maryland front four, looks like the Huskies are a little fresher than the Terps right now.
Michael Turner starting to pick it up. 26 carries, 77 yards.
Ralph Friedgen doesn't look good right there. His demeanor.
Well, he's not happy. And again, they give it to Turner, and Turner lit up and still takes the hit. Wow, that was a belt.
Like Leon Joe met Michael Turner in the hole. That's a major league collision right there.
That is a guy saying, sorry, you've gone as far as you're going on this play.
I think Leon Joe's a guy that feels a little bit slighted. Obviously, E.J. Henderson, the focus of that defense last year.
But he's now
he was the leading tackler.
Leading returning tackler on this club. Started his last 24 games in a Maryland uniform. 14th play of this drive. Haldy. And I would think he got it. It's close. It will be very close on the spot, but it looks like he's got it. Yes, he does.
And the key to this success is very obvious. They've left themselves with 3rd and short on several occasions. And again, the clock is an issue. Look at this. 14 plays, 75 yards. They've taken 5 minutes and 10 seconds off the clock.
Let's not forget the huge roughing play, the dead ball foul.
2 penalties.
Back inside the Northern 10 on Maryland. Michael Turner tries to turn the corner. Michael Turner is knocked down on a whale of a tackle. I believe it was Foxworth that cut his feet out from under him. After a gain of, let's call it 4.
Well, you gotta like the versatility. He's had success running it up the middle in this drive, and there you see NFL caliber speed as he gets to the outside. Turns nothing into a 4 or 5 yard gain.
Ball sits at the 12. 2nd and 5, they'll give him a 5 yard gain. The burner is starting to cook. They go to him again, Michael Turner inside the 10. This has got to be where the conditioning, all spring and summer in the hot days, where you start to really dig down deep.
Well, this is why you get up early in February at 5:30 in the morning, 4 or 5 days a week. Prepare yourself for these types of moments on the football field. Maryland seems to be a little bit more gassed than this Northern team. Again, 3rd and short. Joe Novak instructing his quarterback, Josh Haldy, to use as much clock as he can.
It's a 3rd and 3 situation for the Huskies. Haldy's going to throw. Now he's going to run. Haldy whacked.
He did not get the first
I
down.
do not believe he made it.
I'm a little surprised by that call. They'd had so much success recently running the football.
Haldy was absolutely lit up.
They're faced with a...
You can tell he's a little banged up here, Tom.
Very short 4th down.
What do you do if you're Joe Novak?
Well, I think that you give your quarterback time to compose himself. There's really no pressure. We talked about this at the top of the broadcast. There's no pressure on this Northern team. Everyone out in the land of college.
We got the drive there late in the 4th quarter to go down and kick the field goal to tie it. That was a great drive. We were aided by a penalty or two, thank goodness. But PJ had 3 or 4 catches in that drive. It was outstanding. Haldy delivered the ball to him. Keith Perry had a big screen pass and run that he had in that drive to get us down. And that was a drive that Michael really cut loose. He had 2 or 3 8-10-yard runs that got us down there. Got us down to the 6-yard line with a 4th and 1.5. And I'll promise you that was a difficult decision to make at that time. You know, I've got 13 years now to think about it, but that night we only had 30 seconds, so it wasn't easy. But we decided to go kick the field goal to tie it and see what would happen, and we did, and we made it. But that drive was the only drive we had really of any extent that night. It came at a critical time.
Maryland, take the 3 points and rely on your
snap,
defense.
set, kick, perfect.
Good decision by Joe Novak.
The game is tied. Wow, minute 12 to go. Well, 13 all. Don't go anywhere. This is promising to be a whale of a finish. A Fox Sports Net.
The car of your dreams is waiting. The Infiniti G35, the G35 Coupe, and the FX, the SUV the New York Times said manages to steal Porsche's thunder. Visit Infiniti's limited engagement sales event. But hurry, with special APR financing on select models, the car of your dreams could be gone.
That is sweet.
My pride and joy.
Oh, it looks new.
Like right out of the showroom.
Oh, that is one great looking...
Whoa, hold on, honey. I'm showing Tom the floor. Nice floor, Joan.
Make your garage floor the envy of the neighborhood. You can do it yourself with Rust-Oleum Epoxy Shield Garage Floor Coating. After prep, you're ready to go. Simple as painting a wall. Easy to clean and resist chipping and peeling. This all-inclusive kit is available at home centers, hardware stores, and automotive retailers near you.
Oh, what a floor.
Look how the moon reflects off it.
Oh, beautiful.
Huh?
Mm.
Well, 1:16 to go, 13 all. Let's hear the decision-making process of the head coach of the Huskies, Joe Novak.
I have to, Coach. You going to field goal? You got to kick field goal. Have to. Kick off. Tonight. Whatever you think. Just don't want to do it. We can do a good deed. We'll kick it deep.
The following sponsors for their support of NIU athletics. Get the hook.
Well, it was the right decision.
Whatever you think.
You take the points. Again, you had a little bit of a mismatch.
Sideline. McBrien out of the shotgun. We are tied at 13. He looks, he throws, and it is dropped. Josh Allen could not corral the pass. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 10 with exactly 60 seconds left in our football game.
And Maryland with 2 timeouts. So
in regulation, I should say, Tom.
No reason to panic right now. 2 timeouts for Maryland. Got to try and move the chains.
Do you take a chance running the football at all, Tom?
Oh, I think you got to stick to the air right now.
McBrien again. He is pressured, he is hit, he is escaping, and he is tackled. Northern brought pressure, and McBrien could not get away. Loss of a couple on the play. It'll bring up a 3rd and long. Maryland will take a timeout with 49.4 seconds left on our scoreboard clock.
Give Northern credit. They're sticking to their game plan. They are relentless with the pressure. They're bringing corners. They're bringing linebackers. They're doing everything they can to try to disrupt this Maryland passing attack. But this is an experienced college quarterback right now, Scott McBrien. Definitely leaning on the experience of last year.
Get a look at Novak. He's already made a 50-yarder tonight. He's got the leg to give Maryland a chance if they can get him within, what do you think, 55 yards? That first one soared through.
They still have about 30 yards they've got to travel before they put this young man in position to make a field goal. Maybe even a little bit more.
I would
35, maybe even 40 yards. So that's a lot to ask from this young man.
Northern Illinois' last win over an ACC opponent nearly a year ago, August 29th, 2002. They beat Wake Forest right here, 42-41. A game you and I called.
We happen to be here for that.
A 3rd and 11th situation for the Terrapins. McBrien barking out signals out of the shotgun. Northern looks to get some pressure. He goes deep. He looks, and it's overthrown.
Once again, Latrez Harrison running free in the Northern secondary. Scott McBrien cannot make the connection. Northern's going to get this football back, probably a good field position with plenty of time and 2 timeouts to make something happen.
Again, you have a punter here who kicked the ball pretty well, Adam Podlesh, but this is his first college game after replacing Brooks Barnard, who spent this summer in the Bears camp.
And you see right there, again, Latrez Harrison had a step on the Northern Illinois defensive back. Scott McBrien just could not deliver the ball.
Podlesh is back. Dan Sheldon is deep. The kick is away.
Good one.
A high driving kick. Sheldon's got it. Sheldon up the gut and is knocked down right at the 30. So 32 seconds left.
I'm going to guess they have to move the ball 35 yards in 32 seconds to get Steve Azar in position to kick a field goal to win this thing.
Now, the kick for Northern, you Maryland fans wonder which way the wind is blowing. Azar would be kicking into a small breeze, which could mean they've got to go just a bit further.
And again, take what's open, but don't make any mistakes if you're Northern. You'd love to win it here, but you certainly don't want to do anything to jeopardize overtime.
Haldy fires, and it's dropped. Let's go down to the sideline. Gail Fisher's on the Northern Illinois sidelines.
Dave, Josh Haldy is hurting. He spent that last possession warming up on the sidelines, throwing the ball. He hurt his back in that last hit that he took, so he is very stiff. He was trying to stretch it out and work it out, but he is not 100%.
You talked a little bit about Josh Haldy and what he meant to you guys as a leader. I mean, he took a lot of punishment in that game, but kept bouncing up off the turf.
He sure did. You know, Josh was an extremely bright young man. He was like a 3.97, and I'm not exaggerating, in accounting at NIU. And we all know that accounting school, how outstanding that is. But he was very bright. He was tough. You didn't come any tougher than Josh. He made all the right decisions. He was a great leader. I mean, when he spoke, they listened to him. And he was great to have out there in both that game and the Alabama game. But he never got rattled, and like I said, he didn't have a great percentage, but boy, he hit some big passes when he needed to.
You're right, he rushed it just a bit.
Well, if I'm defensive coordinator Gary Blackney for the Maryland Terrapins, I'm telling at least 2 of my guys to watch the young man wearing number 82 in the red jersey.
Yeah, you better find out where he is.
Closing in on a 10-catch night, P.J. Fleck is, if not already there.
Snap, Haldy fires, gets rid of it, and it is.
And here comes a flag.
Tipped away. Now, are we going to have a 15-yard penalty on Maryland for hitting the quarterback? Yes, we are. 15 yards on the Terps for roughing the quarterback. An unconscionable penalty. That cannot happen, Tom.
The Terps are putting a big red bow on this one for Northern Illinois.
Roughing the passer by the defense. Helmet to helmet contact. 15 yards, automatic first down.
This just a complete lack of discipline. And by the way, PJ Fleck, 11 catches for 99 yards and a touchdown.
Well, this football is now sitting at the 40-yard line. You are looking at a 57-yard field goal right now. Another 10 yards puts Azar certainly within his range.
2 timeouts left for Northern Illinois.
Haldy says to his guys, relax. Nearly fumbled the snap, throws, and it is dropped. Sam Hurd had it and dropped it.
Well,
that was enough to give Steve Azar a chance. 9.9 seconds left. 2 timeouts left for Northern and 1 for Maryland. We look at the replay.
Again, Haldy standing strong in the pocket. Got to come up with that catch. If you do, you can call timeout. They have the luxury of throwing the ball in the middle of the field because of the 2 timeouts. And here comes the heat.
And he's got Fleck. And he is tackled at the 26th timeout with 5 seconds left. And their All-American kicker, Steve Azar, a senior, will step on and try and give Northern Illinois the biggest victory in school history over the 15th ranked Maryland Terrapins.
What can you say about PJ Fleck? His 12th catch of the night. He goes over 100 yards receiving. As I told you, they had the luxury because of the timeouts to attack the middle of the field. They get the quick completion, they get the extra yardage, they put Steve Azar in position to kick the game-winning field goal. And we talked about it earlier. All Northern wanted to do was hang into this game late into the 4th quarter and give themselves a chance to win. That's exactly what they've done.
Well, there's Joe Novak, his mentor. We told you Bill Mallory is at home in Bloomington, Indiana, watching this football game, and I guarantee you he is wearing out at home the carpeting in front of the TV. He has got to be pacing for his guy. Joe Novak, his longtime defensive coordinator. Azar has 1 career game winner 2 years ago, the season over University of Southern Florida. South Florida, his only game winner, a 43-yard attempt to win it with 5 seconds
Timeout.
left. Maryland calls their final timeout.
That's their 3rd and final timeout.
Safe to say that if this pigskin goes through the uprights, this is the biggest win in recent Northern Illinois football history.
Complete history, no question. Over the number 15 team in the country, and a team, in my opinion, from watching tonight, if they eliminate some of their foolish mistakes, I think Maryland is a heck of a football team.
They are a very good football team.
And tip your cap to Joe Novak and Northern, they're legit. They are the real deal.
They have hung around. They have taken advantage of the mistakes that Maryland has made, and they have made a bunch.
Last year, they were the MAC West champions. Did not win the MAC outright. They lost with 41 seconds left. That was their mantra all off-season. They will now get a chance. From 43 yards, their All-American kicker will try and win it. Steve Azar with Fleck to hold. The snap, the kick, it is blocked. The kick was blocked. We will have overtime.
Wow.
Gotta ask you, you're closing in for a game-winning field goal. Well within Steve's range. I mean, he's an incredible field goal kicker. Gets lined up, boots the ball, and then it gets blocked.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind at that point?
I was really worried, of course, of how we would react to that. I think everybody did, John. We had the game in hand. I mean, it was close. It was a makeable one. Steve is like, he's got ice water running his veins. And I'll say this, that we saw the shot from behind the kick. Kick was good. He got it up. It was right down the middle. It was going to be perfect. Their kid leaped about as high as I've ever seen a youngster leap. He didn't get much penetration, but he leapt so high behind their defensive line and got a hand on the ball, which is all a lot of luck, to be honest. But that kid had a great effort to block it. When that happened, we were all disheartened for about 2 minutes, just trying to recover because we thought we had it won. But I was really pleased the way our kids responded. That told me so much. It went right out and got the ball in overtime and scored. But it was really a difficult play because we thought we had to get, and that was a great drive there at the end also. Again, Maryland had a big penalty in that drive because we had to go, I think, probably 40, 50 yards in about less than a minute to have a chance to kick that field goal. And we did. We executed beautifully, got in position, and darn if they didn't block.
42-41 victory. Now we will find out who could dig down just a little bit deeper. The number 15 Maryland Terrapins or the favorites to win the Mid-American Conference Championship, the Northern Illinois Huskies.
Hasn't been a real pretty game, has it? Maryland 9 penalties, 90 yards, and 1 turnover. Northern with 8 penalties, 56 yards, 1 turnover. But I'd have to say Maryland penalties have come at more inopportune times.
Coin toss, and it looks like Maryland won the toss.
And in the college football system of overtime, this could take quite some time. What a play. What a play by
Maryland has won the toss and elected to go on defense.
So Maryland has won the toss, and again, they defer. Does that surprise you?
Well, offensively, they haven't done a whole lot tonight. Maybe they feel a little more confident. Obviously, we talked about it earlier. Ralph Regent's defense, 9 returning starters. Last year, they gave up just 16 points. Now, granted, they've done some things wrong tonight, but they've really shut down Michael Turner, done a nice job keeping this Northern offense out of the end zone. Joe Novak's got his hands full right now. His team has definitely taken a shot to the gut, knocked the wind out of them. They were ready to celebrate a wonderful win. Now they're going to get back out there and start battling again. Momentum certainly has switched over to the Maryland sideline.
Well, I think, judging by the gasp from the fans here, they thought Steve Azar was going to drill that.
Well, it was a good kick, too. It was just an outstanding play by the young man from Maryland. It was not a low kick. It was perfectly hit. Just a phenomenal play from Curtis Williams.
Okay, each team will start now with the football at the 25, Northern first. Haldy gives it to Mike Turner, and he will gain maybe a yard. Maryland's defense stiffens in a big way.
Been tough sledding all night long trying to run the football. We knew coming into this game that offensive line for Northern was going to be a big question. They've had to replace 3 starters from last season's team. And a very formidable opponent up front, Maryland is.
2nd down and 8. They'll call it a 2-yard gain. Dequel Jackson, the man with the play. Haldy firing, throws, and it is caught. I believe it's Fleck again. Yes, it is. P.J. Fleck makes the catch. We'll see where they spot this football. They will spot it at the 20. Gain of 3, bringing up a 3rd and 5.
Look again for some misdirection. Maybe a screen pass. You just saw the bootleg there. Maybe a draw. But again, you have to do something to slow down that attacking Maryland defense.
Haldy out of the shotgun. Fires, throws, and he's got his man, and Sheldon is in the end zone. Give him 6. Touchdown, Northern Illinois.
Just an outstanding throw. Dan Sheldon, again, I'm surprised he's even on the field. This what looked to be a horrible knee injury early in the 3rd quarter.
Wow.
A huge play. Just a huge play.
Makes the catch, breaks the tackle, finds Pagert, and the Huskies have grabbed the lead in overtime. Azar's extra point is good. And it's 20-13, NIU. Let's get a look, Tom Waddle.
But that play by Danny that he made on that thing, he ran a little curl route, and Josh threw the ball a little bit to the outside. I don't know if that was on purpose or just where it went, but Danny kind of caught it turning to the outside and just kept spinning And the DB, who was actually an All-American and ended up playing in the NFL, came up to make the play, and Danny, and the timing of it, when Danny spun, the kid was kind of extending himself and missed. And Danny shook him, and of course ran in for the touchdown, which elated our sideline again and brought the momentum back. But it was certainly a great day, play by Dan.
And it came back in. Well, the Terps now have their chance from the 25-yard line. McBrien under center. Allen, the tail of the tandem. They give it to Allen. Picks his way for maybe 3. We'll see where they spot it. They'll bring up a 2nd and 7.
Once again, Nick Duffy in on the play. I don't know exactly how many tackles he has tonight. He's going to be an awful tired young man tomorrow morning.
A 2nd and 7. McBrien is going to go out of the shotgun. Barks out his call. Northern brings pressure. McBrien hit as he throws. And it is intercepted. Intercepted by Northern Illinois, and they have won the football game.
Unbelievable.
An unbelievable play.
And it looked like
with the way the game was going, was it any doubt that it had to come down to a defensive stand by our guys? Can you talk about that? I mean, that was big.
Yeah, it sure was. And we made a play on 1st down, I remember. And I think if I remember right, the interception came on 2nd down. And Scott, as usual, came with a blitz. And we got some pressure off the corner. And we were rolling into the quarterback's legs when he threw the ball. He kind of threw it up. And Rob Lee was downfield in coverage. And the ball was short. And Rob had his back to it. And the ball kind of hit him in the back of the leg and popped in the air. And, of course, Randy Drew was standing right there. And Randy made the interception. And the thing that's funny there, Joe, I was on the sideline. I couldn't see. Yeah. I had no idea what happened. I looked around, and our whole team was running on the field. The crowd was going wild, and I had no idea why. So I figured, what the hell? I'm going to go celebrate too, I guess, but I don't know. And it was later that I found out exactly what did happen. But what a great way to end it. I know Ralph was not happy. He thought there was an interference on the play, but you know what? Too bad.
It shows tremendous emotion, but boy, is he fired up, and he's with our Gail Fisher.
Coach, a lot of people in this country would not have believed that you could beat the 15th-ranked Maryland Terrapins. You did it tonight. Do you believe that you've earned the nation's respect?
Well, I'd like to hope so. It's about time. It's been a long haul. Our kids believe all the way. We got it done. It's a great, great victory for our program.
How did you keep your team from getting down after that missed field goal?
Well, the last couple of years, we've had a lot of games. We've come from behind, a lot of tough times. Our kids have persevered, and they really showed that today.
This is a great victory for you, and you have a Heisman Trophy candidate in Michael the Burner Turner. However, he did not play to probably his potential tonight. Were you disappointed with that?
No, I'm glad we won. Michael's glad we won.
And you have a lot of tough teams on your schedule. Is this going to give your program put on the map nationally?
Well, one at a time. One at a time.
All right, Coach, a great win for them. Zane, let's send it back to you.
Thank you, Gail.
Certainly a step in the right direction.
Joe Novak absolutely elated. The crowd going wild, and let's go down to Mitch Robinson, who's with the hero, Dan Sheldon.
Let me ask you, first of all, you shouldn't, Tom Waddle said all night, you shouldn't even be on the field after that knee bent the way it did.
I tell you what, it was a scare, but I think my leg went numb. I think it was just a bruise on the tendon. You know, I was not about to get out of this game. If it was an ACL tear, I was coming back in. I didn't care. They released me. I came back. I mean, I was not about to leave this game early.
In your wildest dreams, you ever imagine a scene like what's going on here right now?
This is probably the greatest feeling ever. It's the biggest thing that's ever happened to this field right here. This is unbelievable.
You wish it was a bowl game, but it's only game one. You got a whole season to go.
Well, we're going to play the same intensity, the same way every single game. We're coming out to win every game.
So Northern Illinois is for real?
We're for real. We're coming out. I mean, we got a lot to prove, but, you know, we got a great team, a lot of great guys. I mean, I think we're going to do some great things this year.
All right, you asked if you could celebrate with your friends. Go get them. Congratulations. Big win for Northern, Dave. Back to you.
Thank you, Mitch. Well, this crowd is absolutely going crazy. And Tom, that young man's got spoke volumes. I wasn't coming out of it. I tore my ACL.
God, what a gutsy performance from Dan Sheldon. What a gutsy performance from Josh Haldy, who sat in the pocket all night long, got beat up on several occasions from that Maryland pass rush. PJ Fleck, 12, 13 catches. These guys answered the bell. They have opened some eyes around the entire college football world.
We will come back and talk some more about it. Unbelievable win. Huskies over Terry. Welcome back to an unbelievable scene here in DeKalb, Illinois. The Northern Illinois Huskies have shocked the football world, and they have knocked out the 15th ranked Maryland Terrapins here tonight in overtime, 20-13. Let's go back down to the sidelines. Mitch Robinson is with PJ Fleck.
PJ, 12 catches, you're exhausted. Talk about first that touchdown in the first half, the drag in the foot.
You know, we were running a lot of flat routes early, and they were jumping the flat, and I just had to get out in the flat fast, and we did kind of an out and up. And Josh threw a good ball. He put it in the only spot he could put it. You know, we got that 4x4 box in the back end of the end zone. He put it there. I caught it, drug my foot. Good thing I wear a size 11 because I drug that toe.
You've been here a long time. Biggest win of your career so far in this school?
By no means, hands down. And this is 8 years in the making for Coach Novak, and I'm so proud of him and his staff and all these guys that hang on here. There's a thing in our locker room says those who stay will be champions, and hopefully we can do that this year.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you very much.
Good luck the rest of the way.
All right, go Huskies.
PJ Fleck, back to you, Dave.
Thank you, Mitch. All right, let's take a look at that final play. This is what gave Northern the victory. The interception down at the goal line. The ball was deflected. It looked like the official was ready to
He was
throw
reaching
a
for his
flag.
flag, and then he decided it probably wasn't the right decision.
Absolutely right. And ends up that Northern Illinois gets the big victory. And you take a look. Here's the play as McBrien looks to throw, and he heaves it for the end zone. And the ball is kicked, I believe, by, is it Rob Lee? And Randy
Looks like
Drew
Rob Lee, yes,
comes
and Randy
up with
Drew
the
comes up.
interception. And it looked like the official from our vantage point wanted to call a pass interference, did not, and NIU comes away with a huge win.
When you look back at that game, what do you remember most about it?
Oh, the atmosphere. I mean, unbelievable. You know, I know people have probably heard me tell this story, but it's the Maryland game. I got to tell it again. You know, when I first started there, and we were so bad, and we were bad, Joe. You weren't around. We were bad. We were the worst team in the country. I don't think there's any. We had the worst facilities. I mean, it was. And I had a dream, and I dreamt of a national ranked opponent coming into Huskie Stadium, national television, a sold out stadium, and a Huskie win. And as we were working through this time, I didn't ever feel that would probably ever happen, to be honest with you. And I know before the game happened, one of our administrative young people came in and he said, Coach, guess what? And I thought, oh my God, what happened? He said, guess what? He said, it's a sellout. They're scalping tickets on Annie Glidden. And I thought, boy, that's amazing. You know, sellout game, national TV, a great football team, ranked 13th in Maryland. And when they took that ball and drove it down right at the beginning for the score, I said, well, 3 out of 4 isn't bad. I'm not sure we're going to win this, but we did. To come back and do that, and again, the atmosphere to it, and being in our home stadium. The Alabama game was a great win, but this one was in our own stadium with all the people there, and it was just a fantastic night. And like I said, I think just the atmosphere, the crowd, the noise, the support, and I was so happy for Carrie, because she had been so patient with us. I mean, this was year 8, and so happy for her. Another story I've told, I don't want to bore people, but after the game, she came up and gave me a great big hug, and I whispered in her ear, I said, Carrie, I quit. She pushed me back and she said, is this true? She said, what? I said, hey, that's my dream. That's my dream. And she looked at me, she said, we got Alabama in 3 weeks. And I said, you know what? I'll stay. So, but it was fun. I was happy for her. I was happy for, everybody that was involved, the Brad Hoys and the Mike Korchiks and all the people that have been around there all those years. It was a big night for Husky football.
You mentioned everybody else. What did that game mean to you personally, though? I mean, you see yourself walking around the field and the look of pride, but just like the look of pride on your face, just looking around as you're trying to find Coach Friedgen, but you're just taking, talk about what it meant to you personally.
Oh, the emotion. Like I said, we had some awful tough years, Joe. You know that. Leading up, the first 4 especially were very difficult. everybody was questioning us, and rightfully so. I think, people in my family were questioning us too, but I understood that. I didn't like it. It was hard. It's hard on my family, and I got a lot of emails helping me coach. I didn't need, but I had a lot of people trying to help and some phone calls. But anyway, after 8 years, there was a lot built up, to be honest with you. And I just really felt that was a little bit of redemption, maybe we did know what we were doing, that things were going to be okay. And it was just a lot of letting loose with stuff. And the bad part is you got another game the next week. So the next day we had to come in and get ready to play Tennessee Tech. But it was just a great feeling. And like I said, that's the unfortunate thing about coaching. Unless it's your last game of the year, you don't have time to really celebrate. You move on to the next one.
Coach, this victory bash has been a fun week for Husky fans to relive some moments and get connected. But it's also another good chance for them to support us. Can you just talk about what their support meant to you, both in the stands, financially, everything? Can you just talk about what the Husky fan base support meant to you?
Oh,
the program?
That's unbelievable. You can't put a price tag on that, Joe. Just like that Maryland game. I mean, people in the stands, the support they gave, and it was an exciting time for Husky football. When I got there, Northern had 6 winning seasons in 33 years. So winning wasn't, there's a year here and a year there. In '83, we had a great year. Pettibone had a couple great years. But other than that, there wasn't a lot of winning. So as we got better and better and got to that point in 2003, the people really jumped on the bandwagon with us and really enjoyed it and were a big part of it. And that was really important. And the other thing when I got there, Joe, our facilities, and people know this, were just awful. I mean, terrible. And we worked hard for 12 years to try to get the facilities that are now there, the Jordan Center, the Chesick Center. Those were in our dreams the whole time. And we really didn't get them till my last 3 months. We got the Jordan Center the last 3 months. I never did see the Chesick Center. But Jeff and Kenny came through, and a lot of other people came through, and we were able to get those facilities built. And look at where Husky football is now. The last 20 years have been a glorious run of football. And I've often said football is not the most important thing going on that campus, but it sure helps the prestige and the support and the spirit of the school. And I know it's tough times right now in the state of Illinois. I know with the budget crunch and all that, and with the virus now and no income, and money's tight. And I think now more than ever, the university and the athletic program is really going to count on the people's support of what they're doing so we can keep this type of success going at NIU.
Hey, Coach, thanks again for your time. I know our fans have enjoyed reliving this game as much as you've enjoyed telling it. Thanks and all the best, and looking forward to seeing you again at Husky Stadium.
Good, Joe. Thanks for listening to me. I had fun.
Take care.
Thank you.